All right, here we are back again at Beer Buds and the Big Sky Podcast. We got Steve Quinnell with us this week, along with Mike Jopek, Ryan Hennon, and
Third time
myself.
Back for Steve, I think it's
at least
second
at least.
challenge going.
Well, when we have somebody cancel, we always have to get Steve. He's our wingman.
Found him outside, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So, well, we were just talking about before the show the property taxes, and Mike, I had a question that said, I think it was my house, or no, I think it might have been the bar. I don't know. It went from $980,000 is what it said it was worth, which seemed high. Those letters are normally low, I thought, like lower than real market value, right? I mean, that's the
taxable value is different than the market
than the
value.
real market value.
Yeah.
So taxable value went from 980 to 1.3 million. So that seems to me my tax bill is going to go up quite a bit. But Dave Fern would say no.
I don't know. You know, really for folks, it depends on what the taxable value does. You know, you got the market value, and then they put the tax rate on there, and they come up with the taxable value. But what we have to kind of remember is what we're talking about. And what we're talking about is the government coming in, revaluing your home and your business every couple years.
Yep.
And then based on what they say, they determine how much your taxes are going to go up. We're not talking about property tax relief. We're just talking about people staying even after the state comes in and revalues your home.
Well,
And so when you hear Gianforte and those guys talking about, they're saying, oh, we got this great property tax relief. No, you jacked up people's values, and now you're saying you're going to give back a little bit. And so the way the way you figure it out, if you look at your assessment notice, you'll see there's the taxable value.
Yep,
taxable value last year, taxable value this year.
That's what went up about 300 some grand.
That difference you divide by 10 because you're multiplying by 101 mills, the state mills, and that's your state property tax cut. And so, you know, if your taxable value
went from what, 8 to 1.2 or something?
No, you're talking about market value.
Like
now you got
890 to 1.3 market value.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said just the difference. Divide the difference
yeah.
by 10.
Divide that difference by 10, and that's your state property tax cut. And so, like Ryan, I
30
think
grand.
your house was going from
Mine went from 500 to 635.
yeah, which is like a 20% increase.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when you look at what's happened in, you know, I pulled out this chart, which I think is really interesting. I'm going to show it to you guys. This is the median residential value change for the last 4 years, 20 to 24. Now, the state held the tax rate at 1.35% that entire time. They levied 101 mills that entire time. That means in Flathead County, the state property taxes just about doubled. It's 95%, if I remember
That's
right.
insane.
95%.
And that's the state portion. So that's every county in there. When you look at those percentages, that's how much the state property tax increased in that particular county during Gianforte's first term.
Oh, only 95% of the Flathead.
95%.
What the fuck's he got against the
And
Flathead?
so, Ryan, your house went up 20%,
Yeah.
right? And
Granite.
that's a lot.
Yep.
But it's also much lower than the Flathead County average, about 38%. And so I'm going to guess that you probably live in a more traditional neighborhood, probably an older home.
Yep.
Probably
I
somewhere.
live on 4th and Summers right
Yep,
there.
there you go. Exactly. One of those older homes probably built who knows how many years ago.
It was built in the 20s, and then they did like an add-on remodel edition in 86.
Yeah. And so your property tax cut, if I'm just guessing what's going on there, you'll probably see about a $200 state property tax cut from last year's bill to this year's bill.
Okay.
Even though the taxable value went up.
Well, his taxable value probably went down. His market value went up. His taxable value probably went down. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing your taxable value was probably $7,500 last year. You probably paid $3,500 in property taxes last year. Something like that. And
close.
probably, you know, at the beginning of this Gianforte's term, you probably paid, I don't know, $2,500. You know, and so your property taxes really have gone up over the last 4 years.
Yeah, they
and
have.
you're about to get $200 back in relief, as well as that $400 back if you fill out the
Is that the
paperwork.
form you got there? That's the form you got. That's only for $400.
That's a $400.
The last one was $650. Why would it go down?
Well, you know,
It says here
deflation.
the rebate is the lesser amount of $400 or the 2024 property taxes paid on the principal Montana residence.
Yeah. And so I think the property tax cut, the reappraisal realignment that they're talking about for somebody like Ryan, downtown Whitefish, an older home, about $200 plus a $400 credit. That's this year. And that's going to apply to everybody. Every home in the state of Montana is going to get some type of readjustment of rate.
Yeah.
If you apply, right?
Not everybody gets it this year. The application only applies to the $400.
For the rebate.
And then next year, you actually have to beg to get your money back. If you want to stay at that lower tax rate, that 0.76 for the first $400,000 of your home, you have to beg to do that. And you have to fill out that paperwork, and it only applies to one house. It might apply to your big house or your little house if you're lucky enough to have two houses.
Wait. They can. So I got a big house and two little houses.
Yeah.
They could, but those are rentals. That's not my primary residence.
The rentals have their own program.
Oh.
And so you have to prove that you have the rentals, and you'll have to do some paperwork, and the inspectors will probably come out and make sure you're not cheating the system, that kind of stuff. But the rental programs have their own rate. But again, what we're talking about is the state coming in and revaluing people's homes, saying that we're going to jack up your property taxes because we, the state, the government, revalued your home. And then you have to beg for relief to get it back. And so all this nonsense about this is the great property tax relief, it is not.
Says it right here. I got a letter from Gianforte.
They could have just left it.
Says,
flat
I hear the same concern
from
often.
2 years ago. They could have just gone back to, okay, everybody pays what you did 2 years ago. Or 4 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah. What they could have done is exactly that. And they would have done that if they went for the 0.76 tax rate for everybody across the board. But they only give it to you for your first $400,000, for first $400K of your home value. And so in essence, what they're saying is like, we're going to give you the money back that we overtaxed you on that first $400K. But every amount after that, we're not giving you any money back, but we're not going to charge you any extra until your house gets to about $1.5 million bucks. Then we're going to charge you some more.
But then it still stings the people at the top more than at the bottom. Ideally, or is that not
I
true?
think what's going to end up happening is, when you read the fiscal note on what they actually did, the state still generates about $100 million extra bucks. That increase that they put in 23, they baked into the cake. They're not giving you really that money back overall, aggregate statewide. They're still making $100 million bucks per year extra, but they're changing who they're overtaxing. Where they used to overtax everybody and give corporations the tax breaks. Now what they've decided, well, we can't tax the corporations that much because they're kind of upset if their taxes go up to make up for the shortfall.
Right.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to tax people who have whose houses are appreciating faster. And so those places will be like the Flathead, like the Gallatin, like the Missoula, like the Helena, and all those kind of fast-growing counties are going to make up the difference of that $100 million.
And wouldn't they say in that chart, wouldn't the counterpoint to that be, well, sure, yeah, the average went up 95% in Flathead County, but you've got all these houses around Whitefish Lake, that are going to skew the average.
Yeah, that particular chart is actually the median. And the median is the one that happens most
it's a scenery
often.
tax that you talk about.
It's most often. If you want to
it's
see
all the beautiful counties.
If you look at this next chart, I'm going to pass you. This one
The
talks
median
about
accounts for that, exactly what I was just talking about.
the median is kind of like the one that happens the most often in the middle.
Yes.
So the last time
this one that I just handed out just for reference, this is the tax rate, and this is what they think the effective tax rate is going to be per county. And what you'll notice is a lot of these slow-growing rural counties, they're down in that 0.76, 0.74 rate, but then when you start getting into the Flathead counties and some of these other fast-growing counties, we're above 1 point. And so they're making more money out of the Flathead than they are than some of those rural counties.
You think we'd have? I get it that we're booming. It's the fastest growing micro city in the country. It has been for almost probably 3 years now. I get it that they need more money for more infrastructure, more police, more of this, more of that. But I don't see them spending any of that money. I don't see any infrastructure except Highway 40
at the state level.
And that's federal money too, state money.
Yeah, but
we're not doing anything.
We're talking about the state property tax.
Oh, yeah, it's true. So
which the state property tax kind of goes into the special kitty. They use that for school funding. And what they do is they reduce their reliance on income taxes because school funding is primarily income taxes and then it's property taxes. And so the more property taxes, the less income taxes. So remember they gave that big income tax cut to folks over the last 2 cycles. they need an ongoing revenue source if they're actually going to fund schools, and so they're overtaxing on state property tax fund. On the local level, your fire departments, your police, your parks, and that kind of stuff, local government can only increase their budget at half the rate of inflation. And so that was like 2.6% last cycle. It might be 3%, it might be 2%. I don't actually know what it is, but that's a small portion. The local portion is not where your state, your property
well, of course
tax
not. You
is
need
going
that
up.
state money, and it's up to the state to dictate where that money goes. I'm assuming which county. Like it would make me mad if I'd see something like Billings getting more for things than say Missoula or even us right now.
I think the way it ends up working, just for that school equalization formula, is the counties where the taxable values tend to be lower, they get more state revenue. And then where that state revenue comes from is the counties where the taxable values tend to be higher.
Yeah.
And so this is a huge redistribution also from urban counties to rural counties for school funding. And so it's kind of like the double whammy for urban areas. You got higher valuations, you tend to have higher rates, your money's leaving your county and going to urban counties.
Yes.
And it's a pretty fascinating setup, and they knew what they were doing when they did it.
Commercials going quite a bit up.
Do you think they did better by saying, okay, we're going to look at the highest rate people and second homeowners and trying to make sure they get taxed before people like Ryan and me here, who our taxable value is somewhere in the 7,000 to 8,000 range?
It's a policy decision that they made. They didn't actually target out-of-staters versus in-staters. It's a dollar value. So when your home value approaches 1.5 million, I think it is, it might be slightly larger, you start going into a higher tax rate. And so where the cheaper neighborhoods, wherever they are in the Flathead, I don't exactly know because it's 900,000. That's the selling price of a home right now in the Flathead. Is they're going to get the better end of the deal, but there's no distinction between out-of-state and in-state.
Right.
If you have a home on the lake that you inherited 50, 60, 100 years ago, and suddenly it's worth, $7 gazillion, you're going to end up at that 1.9 tax rate, which is very far away from 0.76. That's more than double.
But you can. I mean, that's the thing and I don't know. I've been a proponent for a long time on city council of saying, hey, why are we giving everybody the same amount of money, like same percentage of money back, when 33% of our residents don't live here full time? Why don't they get the 5% and then we divvy everything else up between the 67% of us who will live here? And it seems to me, although it's also going to be very difficult for some people, but by making you apply for next year to keep that same tax rate, that maybe that was that. Do you think that maybe that was their answer to the people at the top end won't care because it doesn't matter, they're not going to waste the time to apply for that, or maybe their accountants will do it for them, who knows? But do you think there was an attempt to try to kind of thread that needle by saying, okay, we know that the people who live here will most likely apply for this and the people who don't probably won't? Or do you think there was some other motive going on there?
I'm sure that they want to treat Montana's right. I mean, who wouldn't want to treat Montana's right? But the amount of folks who actually have second homes, the little cabin in the woods, the little place on the lake, and that kind of stuff, they're not making that distinction. And the reason they're not making that distinction because they're constitutionally not allowed to make that distinction because the only class of folks in the Montana Constitution who are specifically called out for special provisions are veterans.
Wow. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. And so you can give special provisions to veterans, and we do have disabled veterans programs, and say if you're 100% disabled, you don't really pay property taxes, and it might be a small percentage, but that's the only class of citizens that are specifically called out. That's why they did it with the dollar value thing.
Gotcha.
They could have done it with square footage, and I think that would have been a lot fairer because square footage in Glendive versus square footage is here.
Yeah.
Why should we pay more because our view is better than in Glendive? And somebody wants to have a 10,000 square foot home or a home that we measure in acres like we have some places around here. Great. Well, then you tax them by the acre.
Yeah.
Did you get yours, Kevin?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Oh, okay. Is that like 2 acres?
4.
Oh, jeez.
Because it's still together. But
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, I suppose. So it seemed as a couple years ago they send this out every 2 years, this reappraisal market value thing, and it didn't seem like it went up as much last time than this time. But last time's when we had that huge surge, and I think hasn't the market kind of flattened in the last year? I mean, it's not like it's gotten cheaper, but it's definitely flattened.
Well, reappraisal is always a 2-year
Yeah.
look back in time. So if you
And
want to
2 years
see what
ago-
your next reappraisal is going to look like, just look on Zillow to see what Zillow thinks your home is worth today. That's kind of where you're heading. And so, the market really real estate market hasn't come down as far as I
No.
I don't
No, no.
think Montana has ever really
There's more
charged
homes for
less.
sale.
Ever. Yeah.
There's a ton of homes for sale.
There's
in
a ton of
Whitefish.
homes for sale.
How many
They're
are
not
under
cheap.
$1 million?
Not
Oh,
yeah.
no,
There's
7 maybe.
Yeah.
I'll look right now.
Yeah.
Normally-
Somebody asked me that the other day.
It's normally
and I
about
said
4 or 5. It has
There
been
was,
for the
there
last
was
few
one.
months.
There was one.
Oh, there's
like,
one. Yeah, because they get
last
they get,
week or
they get
something.
snatched
That was my
up-
cousin,
snatched
and he
up
was
pretty
here.
quick. If
Yeah.
there's someone, well, you have a lot of Canadians selling. Like in Ptarmigan, there was one condo for sale for the last 5 years. That's it at a time. Nobody's. I mean, even during the COVID, when a lot of Canadians sold, they didn't really sell up there that much.
Do you think that's Trump? Canadians are selling, or-
Maybe it could be. It without a doubt.
We're also leaving the pandemic years a little bit.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I think, are
Cashing
going back.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
10.
10 houses under $1 million.
And 9 of them are 980K.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
What is the largest square footage of one that's under $1 million?
1,200.
I was going to say 1,260 square feet.
Oh, here's one, 3,500, but that doesn't look Schwagel Lane. Oh, that's way out in Aldi. Anyways.
that's not exactly Whitefish.
That's in the zip code, not necessarily in town. Okay.
But this whole property tax thing, it is going to be super confusing for people. People are going to be disappointed because the politicians are out there in the newspaper. They're saying people are going to get $1,000 back. They're going to
Yeah,
get $1,500
I've
back.
heard that. What's that
is
about?
Not going to happen for folks.
I don't see that in anything they're sending
When
me.
they're looking at this year versus last year, the numbers are going to be pretty much what I'm telling Ryan: $200
Yeah.
bucks for him plus $400 more. Next cycle, he won't even get the $400.
So last time we got the rebate that we developed the form, it was $650.
Yes.
And this time it's only $400.
I blew it in Vegas immediately.
Oh yeah, you invest wisely.
Yes.
I enjoy investing in casinos.
Hey,
as
the only
well.
way you're guaranteed to lose if you don't play.
You can't win if you don't play.
I
either.
think the problem this time is they figured out you took that stimmy down to Vegas. So
Yeah.
you know, they're
spend
not
it here.
really
Give him that
sending,
much.
sending you a check. They're actually just giving you a credit now.
they are the moral police for sure.
Well,
this
so
bunch.
speaking of revenue, where
Yeah.
does Ed's Keno machine money go? So if I put $100 in the tap house Keno
gambling
machine
addiction programs
and I
some of
lose it,
yeah.
so I put $100 in, I lose it. How much do you get?
After taxes and the cut with the vendor, I probably get about 50%.
Okay, so you get $50. That
Yeah.
other 50 goes to the state, or does it go to the vendor?
35%. Well, 35 to the vendor, probably 15 to the state, somewhere around there.
General fund, maybe?
20.
General fund is
Yeah,
what I would
I think.
Okay.
Well, no, there are programs for addiction. I'm sure it's not a lot of money.
Right.
There's money, where these advocacy groups have gotten money out of them, but I think most of it does go to the general fund. Why don't they take this general fund, the interest they're collecting off the slush fund, off of all the money
You don't
they
hear
have?
too much about that anymore.
Why
The slush
isn't that?
fund.
I know, Mike. I missed that slush fund. That should have been a drinking game back
The
at
weekly
one
update,
time.
yeah.
I think it was, but they go out of style pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But to me, it makes sense to use that money to help out Montanans.
Well, that first mailer that they mailed out on that $400, you notice it never said paid for by anybody on it, so it could have been likely been slush fund money.
Okay.
Because they don't have to disclose what they spend
Well,
slush fund.
if you're using state monies, you have to stay on the paperwork. Paid for by, that
Right.
probably does say somewhere on it, paid for by Montana taxpayers. Yeah, probably on the back. There's some print on the bottom or something. I don't know.
I thought Gianforte was like selling his tiers online to help with the budget problems, wasn't he? Didn't I see that somewhere?
I missed that one, Steve.
Selling his what?
His tears.
His tears.
Well, it says here, he says, so Jopek, here's what Gianforte told me when he sent me this nice little letter. He said, as I meet with Montanans in every corner of our state, I hear the same concern often. Property taxes are too high, and they're right. Property taxes are too high, and they need to be reined in. Do you think he's accomplished that with this bill?
Well, look, they didn't really cut property taxes. What they tried to do was neutralize the effect of their own reappraisal.
Right.
They came in, they reappraised, they said, you owe more, now we're going to give you half of it back and call it relief, but you still got to pay extra.
Right.
So what did you do in 06
That
when
was
you
so
were there?
brutal.
And that was like that first boom that we went through, and
White
reappraisals came in way higher.
Just a finger in the eye.
So fucking cheesy.
It was 08 was the cycle that you might be referring to. And what happened in 2008, if you remember, is because reappraisals is a look back in time. And so the market before 2008 was doing really well. So reappraisal was going up, but the real estate market had crashed
Right.
and a lot of people were underwater.
Right.
And so we were fortunate then because we were doing the 6-year cycle. And so we had 6 years of cycle. And so we were able to kind of mitigate that over time a little bit better. But in essence, what we did is we neutralized it. The state collected $0 more than after reappraisal than before reappraisal. So whatever the rate happened to be to, in this instance, it would have to go from 1.35 to 0.76 to neutralize. Well, they didn't do that. That's what every governor before Gianforte used to do. And the state used to reappraise every 6 year. I think it actually worked better. In agriculture, they do the 10-year Olympic average, and so they throw out the low year, they throw out the high year, and they average out the 8 years. They don't do that with residential, but they certainly do it with agriculture.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That'd be nice. I
Why,
like that.
why does it
Olympic-
have to be so? Why does it have to be such a rapid reappraisal all the time?
'Cause they want
Every
their
2
money,
years is a
Steve.
long time,
Yeah.
but we're not doing anything with it. They're not spending it on anything good. They're
Yeah. So you said they're getting
they're giving income tax breaks.
Yeah, so you said
but you
they're
have
getting
to make
100
like over 240 grand to get a tax break, from what I understand, too. It's not like a guy that's making 60 grand is going to get a big income tax cut.
No.
Not saying like they're paying a lot in the first place.
Right.
But from what I understand, and I could be wrong, that once you're over 240 grand a year, which is what, 3% of Montanans, for Christ's sakes, that's when you start getting the real savings. Well, fuck, that's conservative. That's trickle down. That's what
These,
they like.
as always, these are people that don't need that money. They
don't need it.
They
Turns out
do
the-
just
but they're
fine
greedy.
without it.
Turns out the trickle down is just the piss.
Yeah, it is.
hitting
It's
us.
just the piss,
Yeah.
the stale urine. Oh, God.
I
but
mean,
you
they
said
are
they're-
right. The taxes are too high.
tinkle down.
They are too high, but what
Tinkle
the
down, yeah,
politicians
that's
keep
good.
forgetting is who they're too high on. And they're too high on middle-class Americans, Montanans who live in traditional homes, Montanans who have lived in these places for 30, 40, 50 years. That's who's the taxes are too high on.
Yeah.
The people making the 6, 8, 9-figure incomes, their taxes are not too high because they don't balance their checkbooks to 6 digits,
No,
Right,
no.
yeah.
Well, I know, but yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, the last session, 23 session, there was a bill introduced, like a Prop 19 in California, and the conservatives were just dogging it. We don't need
Remind
a
me
liberal
again,
California.
What's Prop 19?
Grandfathers you in at your tax rate, property tax rate of what you bought that house for, or how long
Oh,
you've been
gotcha,
there.
okay.
Like, which that would be amazing, especially if you look at a city like Whitefish. Now, Whitefish, 40% of our homes are second homes. 40%. Statewide, that number's like 20. That's big for any fucking state. It really is a big number.
You walk around a lot of neighborhoods in Whitefish in the wintertime, and houses are just dark.
Yeah, nobody's in them.
It's
Yeah,
just
no,
dark.
nope. I know.
And so
There was that movie
effort-
about
yeah.
Aspen a long time
So-
ago. The lights are on, but
That
nobody's
effort
home.
that you're talking about, Ed, is gaining traction. There is a citizens initiative that's gaining signatures.
Oh.
I don't know if they've actually gotten authorized to gain signatures. I think the guy's name is Monforton or something like that. He was attorney out
Oh,
of Bozeman or
Matthew
below grade or
Monforton, yeah.
something like
Yep.
that.
Oh,
He
good.
has that
So-
out there. And, I think that's coming to voters, and I think voters are going to sign on to it. The
Oh, yeah.
excuse always has been that the reason we don't want to do this kind of stuff was, well, nobody's going to sell their home and there'll be no new starter homes. Bloody hell, nobody can afford to sell their home now because they can't
hell
move
no.
anywhere.
No, you
I-
can't. No. I mean, no. It's sad that it would take a voter initiative. It's just sad that the legislature just wouldn't do the right thing and do this for us. Because, I mean, none of us give a shit if you hammer these new fuckers that are coming in that got billions of dollars.
I really don't.
Problem is, our governor's a billionaire. Our senator's a billionaire. These are their friends. They don't want to turn their friends off, and that is what it looks like to me now.
Hold
it looks
on
like
a
a billionaire's
minute here,
world.
I think
Oh, wait, you're going to read from
Hold
Greg's
on
letter?
a minute here. It says right here, it's my honor to serve you. My door is always open. Don't hesitate
That's
to
a lie.
reach out to me for anything. Sincerely.
Yeah. What?
Greg
We'll get him on the
Gianforte.
phone here. Let's see if he'll come to the
Well,
podcast.
I think it was Kevin that mentioned. Kevin or you talked about Schweitzer a few shows ago, that when the first day he went into office, he opened the door of his office and it stayed open for 8 years.
Oh, yeah. No, I tell you.
Now, I don't really go looking for Gianforte, but I feel like I never hear from the guy.
No. And if you
Now,
talk
it's
to
not like I'm
heads,
seeking him out, but I never hear.
So when I was in Helena this winter a couple times, you know, and I know some people down there, and heads of departments basically are kind of like, you know, we got a boss, but he's like one of those bosses that aren't around.
Yeah.
You can't just like hunt him down for a question or this or that. It's
Where
not.
is he? What's he
and,
doing?
And from what I understand, Bullock and Schweitzer were very much the opposite, and they were there and hands-on. You know, I mean,
I definitely heard that about Schweitzer. I can't speak to Bullock. Was
yeah,
around
I mean,
a lot, but
you know, Bullock. I think he's a pretty friendly guy,
Yeah.
and like I don't think he's hard to work. I don't. He's by no means Schweitzer. You know, I wish he had Schweitzer's charisma, because he would be our. I think he'd be a
He
senator.
did really quite well at the Pat Williams Memorial.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and it's,
Oh, did he
it's-
speak?
He did. Bullock did. Both Bullock and Schweitzer did. I mean, Schweitzer was real quite Schweitzer-like.
Yeah, spot on, perfect.
But Bullock seems to have found his voice a little bit. After
Good.
he got out of politics, he doesn't have to be on stage.
Yeah.
do you think he's ever going to come back into politics?
I don't know. It seems like all those guys.
He still
once
goes
you
on
get
Julie
out, it's
Mason
hard
every
to go
once in a
back.
while.
Okay.
He goes on her talk show.
not that old though. I mean, he's my age, so
Yeah.
he's really not that old.
He's what,
kinda
62? No, I'm fucking with you, Steve.
So, I don't know, there's a lot of.
Pretty
grand
sure he's still in his 50s. Even though
Well,
I'm in my
Social
30s.
Security,
but-
right? Yeah.
Remember his
Social
debate?
Security.
Remember his debate against Danes? It was horrible. It was horrible. He was like, they put a heat lamp over him or something. He was sweating, just not like looking at the camera. Just not. It was not his finest moment. It might have been his worst moment. You know,
He
but
got thumped by
he-
Danes, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he
Like
got
6 or
thumped.
7 points.
But what's
Yeah.
crazy is, you know, he won as governor twice, and I mean, yes, you can say he's riding Schweitzer's coattails, but he won twice.
Well, he did one twice. I mean, his first race was harder, and he had a lot of help from
Yeah.
surrogates getting him in there, no doubt about that. But, you know, when he ran against Danes, you have to remember that was during the COVID years also, and he chose to
close.
mail a ballot to every registered voter in the state of Montana.
Right, that probably
And,
didn't
you
help
know,
him.
and what we found out that voter turnout in these rural places it might not be the exact same rural
Right,
turnout that you get in Oregon or Washington.
Some of those people, especially in Lincoln, you don't want them voting by mail.
Oh,
It's a Ted Kaczynski joke. Right?
that is bad. That's so bad. He came up the other day. It's something. I don't remember what it was.
They duct taped their
You might not
manifesto
wanna-
to
you
the
might
back
wanna-
of their
no, you don't wanna
ballot.
Open that ballot, not that one from Uncle Ted in Lincoln.
Here's my ballot and my intense screed on anti-government sentiment.
All right, so we've covered Montana politics a lot, or Montana taxes and stuff, and goofy Montana
Yeah,
stuff.
they're too bloody high, but they're too bloody high for middle class Montana.
Well, yeah.
They are.
You know, that's the problem.
Always.
Here's the deal, Mike. Our leaders don't care, not only in Montana but in the country. And it seems that as if the voting bloc that
You're
won,
talking Danes,
they don't
Sheehy,
care.
Zinke.
Yes,
Whoever
And I'm
it is
ta-
on the east.
on a national
hell is
level, you know, Troy Downing.
Troy Downing.
Well, all those guys. I mean, you look at who's in administration in
In
Washington
DC.
D.C.
They're all
You look at
billionaires.
they're all bloody gazillionaires. What do they know about a $9 coffee cup or a $9 beer or
No.
an $8 dozen of eggs
Not
or
a
a $6
goddamn
gallon
thing.
of milk?
But somehow they have everybody, you know, completely fucking, you know, sold on this. You know, the conservatives are the one that are helping the little guy. They're middle
Which
America.
is insane.
It's insane.
Remember Zinke's ad when he was running? He was like, remember when a gallon of gas
Yeah.
costs a couple of bucks?
Yeah, that's right.
Riding horses.
You
and
know-
it was like, I had to listen to that for a year.
Dude, I just paid fucking over
And I went to
$4.
Costco the other day and it was $3.30 for a gallon
I
of gas.
paid like $4.79 for diesel. Idaho or Washington when we went to Seattle. I couldn't believe it. And
But those guys were on
probably
message,
Washington,
you know.
I made it out of
left-wing
Seattle
state with all
alive.
the
They were a
taxes.
message talking about how much coffee costs, how much bacon costs, you know.
Still expensive. Still expensive.
Still expensive.
We haven't heard
getting
about the
more
non-reduction.
expensive.
Beef is at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be.
Beef right now is the highest it's ever fucking been.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the thing, there's still people out there for sure. I'm going to go ahead and call them Trump-tards because I think that's what they should be called.
We might get around the
If I'm
TikTok
a
ban.
libtard, yeah, they're Trump-tards for sure. Because they believe all
woke
this
is
shit.
dead. I mean, you can say that stuff now.
you're
Woke
right.
is
Well,
dead.
that's what we're
You
changing.
listen to
Woke
South
is
Park.
dead.
Cartman was
Fuck
talking
it.
about
Yeah,
woke is
woke
dead.
is
Woke
dead.
is dead.
Yeah, we
And
got
to be honest with you, I'm not.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm not terribly sad to see it go.
Christian Yelich just
Okay?
hit a home run. It's 8-4.
It's not that I don't believe in the causes of wokeism, but the way it got administered was way too.
Well, yeah,
hard.
obviously, because
It was too Nancy-ish or something.
Karen. Karen is the
Karen-ish,
word.
yeah,
It's
Karen,
way
sorry.
Karen. It's too Karen.
My apologies to all the Nancys out there.
Here, I'm going to tell you what. It's no better on the right. It is not how they act about their things, too. It's just that they don't get the criticism the left does. I mean, some of their shit is over the top. I mean, I'll take the woke bullshit standing up for a trans athlete that doesn't matter in my life at all over, celebrating pardoning of the January 6th people. Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ,
Yeah, but a lot of
Look
those
how
guys,
fucked up that is.
a lot of those guys went right back.
One
into
guy's
prison.
One guy's trying to get out of his child pornography charges
Yeah.
because Trump, he pardoned him, so he thinks that should have to do with his pornography. So, and that's another thing. Here's a J6 guy that's heavily involved in pornography. This keeps coming out. Oklahoma legislator, I think, something would just happen the other day.
It
with
was the superintendent.
superintendent of schools.
It was the one. It was if you guys remember the story.
That's right.
About
And they banned that.
the Oklahoma superintendent that wanted the Trump Bible in every classroom.
Every classroom.
He's the one that just got busted watching
Oh, it
porn at
was
a
him.
school meeting.
This is why I don't listen to the news.
Yes.
You
I
gotta
heard
watch
that.
this.
I
It's
But he
great
has
stuff.
now
Made it
come out
through
and
the
said
day.
that it wasn't his porn. It was someone else's that maybe
course.
put it on his screen or
Sure, somebody's fucking a hacker.
It wasn't his point. He wasn't in
'Cause he
it.
said-
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
starring and he didn't hit play. So
Yeah.
It's really not my.
Well, the
fault. I
hypocrisy
really,
runs deep, and it does on both sides.
Well, so
14-year-old girls
so
are too old for me.
Define woke for me, because I've always had a trouble with that. It's because family members bitch
Joy
and moan
Bear.
about woke.
I think it's, Republicans are woke when they go after Budweiser. Like they did the Budweiser
Yeah, they were.
boycott.
Yeah, Bud
They're
Light.
very effective, because there was something on a can somewhere.
So-
They went after it. And they're actually the only ones that I know of that can actually pull off a boycott
They can.
these days.
Well,
Target,
Yeah.
they cancel more people than the Democrats ever have, but
Right.
it's
Oh yeah, cancel culture is alive and well
On the right.
on the Trump tards.
Yes, it is.
Yes, big time.
Yes.
Because they're canceling anything they don't agree with, and the
But we
Constitution.
we cancel somebody for being racist 4 years ago, and that's too much.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
or,
No, I know.
or Al Franken does this
Yeah, I know.
Right.
to someone that's asleep and has to resign from the
I'd be
Senate.
fired a million times for
when
doing
we
that.
talk about that woke is dead, but is it really dead? Because even
just
the
bubbling under the
president
surface,
can't call the commanders by their old name when he says, "I want the commanders to go back
Right,
to their old name." He
exactly,
doesn't
yeah.
bring that name up.
No shit.
Can't
Yeah,
be
you're
that dead.
It's funny you mentioned
what
Bud
an
Light.
idiot to
I was
even bring that up.
I was at Happy's up near Libby.
Oh,
over the
yeah,
weekend
that's-
for the Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh no, you
And,
went to that.
and-
You
Yes.
went to the Oak Ridge Boys. at
Well, I was
Happy's?
there, and but they played on.
Did you
Saturday.
wear
They
your-
sang Elvira, right?
Oh, God,
Boom,
yes.
ba, boom.
You must have
ba,
worn
ba,
your
ba,
you must have worn your
ba.
American flag cape.
Well, he was talking about Bud Light, and in
Song
Happy's they have this
fire.
giant wall on the inside, and it used to be it's the American flag, so it's red, white, and blue, and they have the red stripes are Budweiser cans, the white stripes are Miller Lite cans, and the blue was Bud Light cans. But ever since there was I don't even remember what it was anymore. Was it a gay person?
A
or
trans person
a
was their
trans person?
spokesperson for something.
on a
yeah.
TikTok video.
Bud Light.
Something- yeah.
So they got
Yeah,
rid of.
Dylan McVeigh.
They said the patrons were in a fever and they ripped down all the Bud Light cans, but now it's Kokanee cans. That's a Canadian beer.
It's made in St. Louis actually now, and it's
Okay.
fucking terrible.
Well, I guess
It
that's
used to
not
be
so
really
bad.
good.
But every time I look at it, because I go there all the time when I have cases in Libby, and we always stop at Happy's and have lunch, and I go, we got a goddamn Canadian beer making up half the American flag. But if that's in St. Louis, that's okay.
It is now.
And
Yeah.
I think
The taste
why
went
not?
downhill.
We should, and you guys might have heard this before, but somebody said it's not my original idea, but instead of going back to Redskins, I think we should really honor the president and his time. He's going to have at least 8 years in Washington, D.C., and name the football team after him. We'll just call them the Thin Skins.
Oh, I thought you were going with
Thin
I thought you were going
skins.
with orange skins, but either way, I like it.
Very thin. That's another thing. So thin-skinned. So, any criticism, and like, you saw the video, the whole fucking world now, all the Trump tards, all you mega idiots out there, you saw the fucking caddy throw the fucking ball. The motherfucker's a cheater.
Oh, I know.
I'm a goddamn liberal. I'd never fucking stand for it. I would
Yeah.
never stand for that. I'd beat the fuck out of that piece of shit
cheats at
right
golf,
there.
yeah.
Fuck that. Cheating in any way.
Yeah.
But these guys make a fucking living out of it. They laugh at your fucking redneck dumb ass because they don't give a fuck about you.
Oh, he
They're
doesn't
cheaters.
respect
They're
them at
liars.
all.
They're the people that you would never be and you would never teach your kids to be.
you
And that's who the fuck they are.
Do you remember in Trump 1, speaking of him hating his voting base, which he does, in
Yeah.
Trump 1 when he was talking about the water pressure, and he was like,
Oh, yes.
and he was talking about
Yes.
the big dumps, and he was talking to the crowd, he was like, and the big dumps, they don't even, he was like, not mine, no way, not mine, you all and your big dumps, they don't go all the way down.
Well, it's funny. Why is cancel culture now acceptable? Because they're doing it all the time. All of this. And again, I do believe it's because the base is pretty fucking
They're
ignorant.
canceling NPR. They're canceling the Force.
That's
They're
what I'm
canceling
saying.
Department of
Cancel
Education.
anything that they do
They're
not
gonna
agree
cancel
with.
your Medicaid. They're canceling your food stamps.
Yeah, they're
Top 10
canceling-
list. Let's get a top 10 list tonight.
I think the answer to your question, Ed, is the reason that cancel culture thrives on the right is because, someone like J.D. Vance is a fraud, he's morally bankrupt, and he believes in nothing.
Well, he believes in God.
Well,
for fucking sure he
If
does.
it'll get him closer to the brass ring, he will believe in
You see
whatever
all
you
the
tell him to
fucking
believe.
videos how he talked about Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
He's a
fuck.
Nazi.
He's not fit to serve. We're going
Then
to
he
be in a
says
dark place.
the media tricked him, and it's like, well, that's not great either. So
And the
you
media
just-
tricked you in like 70 interviews.
But now you're,
Fuck
but
off.
now you're woke.
Yeah, it's like you get tricked
Yeah.
by a 60 Minutes episode.
Is that why he wears
How
the
does the
makeup?
president forgive him? It's like he doesn't
Well, it
forgive a
was
lot of people about.
Sleepy Joe Brandon always said, you don't hold grudges in politics.
Well, is it something that are these people that dumb though? Because they do believe everything he says all
Which
the time.
people?
The Trump tards.
Yes, they are.
I mean,
Yes, they
Obama's
are.
Obama's going to jail now.
Yes.
He did the whole Epstein thing.
They are that stupid.
Hillary, no job. He's creating all these cold jobs. He's not doing any of that. Democrats don't fucking hate America.
no wall.
Just because he fucking says, and that pisses me off. I say I'm a pretty middle of the road dude. And it's hard to call myself a Democrat or Republican. It always has been because I've never seen either of them work that hard for me. But just to sit out there and say that one speech he made where like, well, the Democrats hate me. Well, I hate them too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
fuck you,
Democrats
petty
are
little
doing
fuck.
that to themselves. I mean, like look in Montana. Out of the 56 counties, right? Democrats have central committees in 30. That means Democrats aren't doing anything in 26
They're
counties in the
almost
state of
half.
Montana.
We have a committee, but what do they do?
Yeah, and
they talk
but-
about lunch where they're having their next lunch.
Well, whatever. I don't care about what they do, but you got to get out there. You have to talk to people.
do.
You have to organize.
events.
And they're just not
Blue
doing
Jam
that.
seems to be good this year. The lineup looks good.
Which
For the
lineup?
Blue Jam.
Who is it?
Blue Jam.
Oh, yeah, the Blue
Democrat
Jam.
thing.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good. Yeah.
Oak Ridge Boys?
No,
Oh.
no, 20 grand though.
Okay.
And
20 grand.
and a couple other good bands.
We should do like a live
Tyler Childers
podcast
coming?
there.
I know we got to
Yeah,
talk
there
Kevin
we
into
go.
it. We
Yeah.
did it at the last Blue Jam.
No. I mean, just like instead of doing the MC, just sit up there and
just-
we'll bring up the politicians
cameras
one
and-
at a time. We'll ask them some questions.
That's a
Don't
great
let
idea.
them just talk on
You
nonsense.
know what? Fuck yeah, dude. That's a great idea.
Yeah, be the hot seat. You put
is a
the
great
fan,
idea.
you put the
Cameras.
powers. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
just
my
do-
God.
Just do it
Oh,
right
yeah, we'll
there.
have
Just
internet.
whole show and
Okay. Yeah, let's plan on that.
Yeah.
I mean, because all we need to do is hit play. That's it. And just record let the whole thing go.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
Kevin,
the
Kevin
audience
just
will
edit
like
this
it.
out.
Kevin has to hit play. But theoretically, we could just set up the cameras because I'm assuming there's a stage in there. I haven't been in the snow line.
Yeah.
But that's where it is.
Well, we don't need a big room, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Actually-
look at this thing. Oh.
Well,
Are they actually going to invite people to,
right, that's right. Like union members, are they going to get like blocks of people that vote to come to this, or is it like nobody's going to know about it like last one?
Well, I mean, it is Democratic event, so you have to read Facebook or somewhere to figure out where it is.
Well,
and,
like last time, we're
you
just
know.
like, where's the teachers union? Why isn't somebody here speaking on their behalf? Or you know what? Are we going to get any of that, you think?
I don't know. I think that, Democrats make this terrible mistake, like they overcharge for everything.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
go
it's
to
like
the
$50 or
if you go to
something.
the $50, $60, whatever.
They charge
You go
for
to
the
the
Blue Jay?
Democratic convention in Livingston in September. It's $175 to go.
What?
Yeah, exactly. And so
What the fuck?
Democrats
I mean,
used
they
to
need
have
money.
like pig roast. Come to the pig
Yeah.
roast. We got the music. Come get a burger. Come talk to us. Now you got to
Telling
give
me
them $50
They
to go
can't
talk
find
to
a donor that would just be like, look, I'll pay for the food, I'll pay for the drinks, the tickets are free. We just want butts in seats.
Well, they started charging Ed too much property taxes, so
Yeah,
he can't
they did,
give
yeah.
him that.
very
few
true.
You know,
bucks
that
this
is
year.
brutal, and you're right, Ryan.
Passes that us in wing
They
prices.
shouldn't
He
be-
passes that
They
to us.
definitely should not be fucking charging that. Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you would think they want people to come.
That's crazy.
That is
it's
crazy. I wonder what the
$175.
Republican one costs.
I don't know. Probably costs more.
Kevin wanted to
It's
go to the
probably
Lincoln
way
Trump, the Lincoln Bush Trump, or what's it called? Lincoln
Yeah, we want
Reagan.
the big
Lincoln
donors,
Reagan Trump
donors.
dinner. You know they changed the name from the Lincoln Reagan dinner to the Lincoln Reagan Trump dinner.
Where is
I mean,
it?
these fucking people are so
I think it's
stupid.
at the Kennedy Center, that's
They're
why.
fucking attaching themselves to this. Yeah, we're going to call the Kennedy Center Trump Center, the Melania Center or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's going to be the Robert Kennedy Jr.
Even if there's the
Center.
slightest chance that this guy doesn't work out and isn't good for people, which might happen, probably is happening, still do it. Our Montana Republican Party to attach themselves so closely to this fucking piece of shit blows my mind.
Do you think
It
they'll
blows
ever
my
face
mind.
any consequences?
No, not at all. Oh, no. No, I mean, now they have a new leader. Don Kay stepped down, so there's a new leader of the Republican.
Why did he step down?
It was probably a lot of
He
work.
did his
Let me
time.
guess. It was
They were too
it was-
conservative.
It was
They were
the
too
nasty
conservative.
nine that made him step
He had
down.
probably
No,
cost him too much
he did
money.
his time. Look, Don Kay won.
Yeah, he did.
Democrats
That's a good
lost
point. He did.
everything.
He-
Every
he-
bloody thing Democrats lost.
Yep, you're right.
And Don Kay's going out at the top. Democrats are going out at the bottom.
So,
But the point that I was making earlier about Democrats only being in 30 out of the 56 counties is that's why Republicans' message resonates. That's why we get away with all this kind of crap and this bullshit that people are saying, because Democrats aren't there. There's no other.
They're not there.
There's
Right.
no other voice.
you're right. There's no competing
Yeah.
voice, and media nowadays won't give you that.
Yeah, you
You're
have to
not gonna
take
get
it. You
You're
gotta
not gonna
take
get
the
it. I mean,
voice.
so the other day, Trump said again, windmills only last 7 years. That's fucking retarded. It's fucking stupid, but these idiots believe it. They last 30, 40 years forever, okay? They're not killing eagles and birds and shit like he's saying they are. He just keeps making up this horse shit. And there's charts out there. You can see China is leading the world. Like, nobody thought China would play along in the Paris Accord. Now they are leading the world in green energy.
They're really.
He goes, China doesn't have any wind farms.
We've
know
invented.
they can see the
all of
future.
Yeah, America invented all that. America
Yeah.
invented solar panels
And we should
in
be
the late
capitalizing it.
50s.
Now China is.
And because we don't manufacture anything, these guys are like figured out the next level engineering.
I mean,
on the
Trump
stuff
said
and-
China does not have windmills.
And the reason-
they have millions of them. He said they have none. But the proof is there's millions. So, I mean, how would anybody ever trust anything this fucking douchebag says? I just don't get it. Because he talks out of his ass all the time, and people seem to love it more and more. I don't see a Democrat getting away with
He's
that.
in on the bit. That's the part that Americans don't understand. Montana's Democrats don't get.
All about
Like, he
his
knows
own
there's wind
profit.
farms in China.
in on the bit.
He knows.
Yes,
he knows
he
the
is.
bit, and he's playing his part. He's doing a masterful job at it. Kudos for him for
He's so
doing
good.
such a good.
He's the
He
smartest.
really is. He's doing a good job at it.
It's the art of the deal.
It is, and the Democrats haven't figured out that there's show to be had. Governor like Schweitzer figured out there was a show to be had.
Schweitzer was a show.
People loved it.
Yes. Yeah. And Mike Cooney did not have that pizzazz.
Oh,
I thought Bussy had the pizzazz.
Mike
Bussy's got pizzazz, but Bussy couldn't get any airtime because of the fucking Tester campaign and the She campaigns.
Yeah.
They bought all the ad space. You couldn't get on TV. You couldn't get out. I mean, he traveled like 15,000, 20,000 miles.
He went
was
everywhere.
insane, and he was everywhere. But still, when people ask in exit polling, people didn't really know him.
Yeah.
Damn. And because when you're out of nowhere, it is like Russell Cleveland. I think he's a really good guy. I think he's a guy that doesn't have a motive, And I could say that about Bussy, too. I really didn't think, some politicians you can look at and you can see through them.
Right.
But neither of these guys I could see through.
No, Bussy did a
John
fantastic
Mulfeld.
job. There's no doubt about it. Social media will only get you so far.
It's true.
Mean, it will
That's
work
true.
with the younger voters because they're paying attention to those short slits. But you know,
But
older
older people-
voters,
voters aren't.
You know, you don't even get social media in many places in
No,
Montana.
and you didn't see. It's not that the radio stations and I mean, I think Bussy did end up going on Montana Talks. I think he did. He did. But he wasn't getting interviewed on the regular on the Montana news channels. You know, and that's how you get it. You get the free media. And those are the voters. The voters are watching, Channel 9. Right. I'm not. I'm a voter. But
I think Ed.
younger
Do you think Ed read How to Get Elected recently?
What?
There's a book. There's a book about how to get elected.
I think if
Really?
you're
Yeah,
running
that
for office, you kind of have to
everybody
get
that
rid of your beard,
runs
right?
for-
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
That's
got
what people told me when
well,
I ran in 2006. They were like, "What do you think about your beard?" And I was like, "I'm not shaving my beard. I'm not
Fuck
going
it
to
for
change who
nobody.
I am just
Who
to
was the
run
last-
for office."
Who was the last president with a beard? Was it Lincoln?
It was Lincoln.
It
Yeah,
might have been.
It might have been some after he was like it was out
Wow.
of favor, and then he came in. There might have
Clinton
been
probably had a
couple
beard a few mornings, but somebody shaved him up.
Yeah.
Teddy
They all
Roosevelt had a
They all have
mustache.
beards when they got out of office.
Yeah.
I mean, Gord had a beard.
Well, because
you know.
Kevin sent that podcast out today, and they talk about that in that episode because he interviews Pete Buttigieg. And
I couldn't get that podcast. It wouldn't come up on my thing.
That's a good interview.
Yeah, well, Pete's got a beard, and the guy was like, "So if you run for president, are you going to shave the beard?" And he was like, "That's a double hypothetical there."
I
wow,
thought that was a pretty good reply.
yeah, but yeah, he went into like the history of the 19th century, and I think they settled on Lincoln was the last president to have a beard.
Yeah.
But he's, we need more Pete's out there in the world. He might not be the candidate or anything
Right.
like that, but you need more voices out there.
He's
He is the most. He's the easiest person to
Did the
listen
Democrats
to
need a liar, though?
talking
Do
about.
they need like a
would
Trump
help.
kind of person to win?
well, they have,
like,
they have Rahm Emanuel.
I mean,
for
if the
that.
dumb people, if the dumb people out there love the liar so much, if the Democrats, do they roll the dice and just go with some idiot liar billionaire?
I don't think you have to be a liar to be popular.
Mark Cuban?
I
don't
think
think
that
so.
you just have to have a vision, forward-looking vision. Trump did have a vision, and Democrats forget about that. His vision's not playing out, but during the campaign season, he had a vision. He kept talking about how the economy's on the rocks, how people aren't getting paid enough, how
Well,
stuff is
he
too
attacked it
expensive.
perfectly, and that's
Right.
And like Kamala, in that interview when she said she'd do nothing different, that was not the answer
Right.
that
She
her
was-
fucking team told her to say.
was
She
hamstrung
froze.
from the
She
beginning.
froze on it and just fucking fucked up.
And
you
Jopek's
know?
made this point 100 times, where it's like there is no mandate for Trump. You had
No, you're right.
you had a historically
Absolutely none.
unpopular incumbent in a cost of living election, and Trump was there, and people voted for him.
God, and some of them love him.
They didn't really have a primary either, though. That's the thing. I mean, I blame Joe Biden for coming out last November.
Joe Biden.
saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna run again," and it's like everybody's like, "Ah."
Right.
But it's not like the Republicans had a primary either.
No, it was Trump from this.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
They-
DeSantis had a little moment there, but he flamed out very quickly. Meatball Ron, come on the show, Meatball Ron. We'd love to have Ron on.
All right. So Lauren Boebert, this is what you came up with, Ryan, tweeted
yeah.
yesterday that the United States doesn't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem, and countless politicians have said that over the year. And it's a massive one. Yet 3 weeks ago she voted to
She
add
said this
all
on the 25th of July. That
After she voted
She
for the
said
big,
we
beautiful
tax
bill."
people at 50% in this country, and we still can't take a chunk out of the deficit.
God, but we can give hand jobs in movie theaters whenever we
can,
want, which is
and-
really great.
Her son just got arrested for child
But-
abuse, and he's on probation for identity theft. But
You
hey,
bring well, like Sarah Palin's family, and
right.
like all these
They
white
want to
trash.
lecture me on family values.
I want to see the
Whatever.
criminal records of Marjorie Taylor Greene's family. I bet it's fucking insanely awesome. But do we care? Does America doesn't care about the deficit.
That's the thing. I think most
Nobody
people are
gives a
just like,
fuck. They use it to
19
get
trillion,
elected.
19 trillion, 25 trillion, 36, 40 trillion. I don't care.
So we've seen the income gap grow, and as this income gap keeps growing, they keep telling us always, every politician, how bad it is and how they're going to fix it and all this. And I'm going to cut the deficit. I'm going to balance the budget. We've had one guy do that in the last 50 fucking years, and it only lasted for a few years.
Well, deficits only matter when there's Democrats in the White
That's-
House.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
only
And
time
they
they
don't
matter.
explode it like
Democrats have
Republicans do,
reduced
though.
deficits
That's the-
every single
But
time they're in the
the
White House.
real statistics, the truth, which people don't give a fuck about, is the Republicans have blown that deficit up. Well, Iraq war. There's pandemic. There's always excuses when it's a Republican. You know what I mean? But when a Democrat,
It's because they cut revenues. That's all it is.
yeah,
They've cut taxes every year. Every time they've been in office.
And you ask them, and it's always someone else's. It's like, well, we just haven't cut taxes enough. Or we're just playing catch up from how badly Obama fucked us.
No, we spend too
Or,
much.
you know,
We just spend too much.
My mother-in-law's a bitch. It's her fault.
Well,
You know, my mother-in-law's not.
Well, Dames was even on TikTok or whatever social media he's on talking about how we got to cut NPR because it's too much spending. The deficit is too high. We have to cut NPR.
What, like $6 million?
And he obviously didn't read the bill he voted on just the day before with the $5 trillion increase in deficit.
Right.
$5 trillion.
I know, it's like everything that they're talking about that's so bad. The boogeyman, NPR, PBS, state-run media, state-run TV. I mean, rural communities depend on that shit. They don't give a fuck about them. Rural communities depend on hospitals. They don't give a fuck about it. You know,
I'm gonna go dark here for a minute though, because
go dark.
The
Zero
issue
dark Quinnell.
Before we get to Epstein, the highlight of our show, we're gonna get dark.
It's been
This is the Q hour.
it has
the
been
Q hour.
It has been okay to run deficits in the United States because people knew that they could park their money here
Yes.
and they would make money off of that money.
That's true. That's gone down a little bit lately.
Not a little bit. This is the biggest crisis that we are facing in the whole entire our adult existence. Is that we have alienated our traditional allies.
Yes, they're not
We
investing
have
in us.
Emboldened our enemies.
Enemies.
Our
I think they're
adversaries.
frenemies now.
Well, China. We've emboldened China and Russia.
Oh yeah.
And other places that are going to take over the services eventually that we were the ones who have provided. And not only that, but we're no longer safe because people are afraid to park their money here. Businesses are afraid to invest now because they could park their money either in bonds or in our stock market. And we're not leading the world in any of those things
Watch him
anymore.
fire Powell. It's going to
And-
really fucking hurt
and
the fan.
He can't, but
that's
he
not
might.
something that's going to have an immediate effect. That's going to affect us 3, 4, 7, 10 years from now when we're looking up at China trying to figure this shit out. And we're going
Yeah,
to
we're
look
not
back
gonna.
and say,
Well,
remember
and
that time when we had the chance to really flex our muscles in the world because everybody else was kind of looking around for a leader again.
We're
just
going
like
after
World
all
War
the
II.
universities.
And we're like, well, we're going back to isolationism because that was such a great idea before World War I and World War II.
Well, China's going to get all our smart people too. They're going to take them to university. Europe's getting them. I mean, all
20% increase on
in foreign, in American
or
students.
just national or worldwide applications
Really?
for colleges.
I mean,
Wow.
the Venezuelan Little League team can't even come play
That I
baseball.
saw that. They all got fucking
like-
denied entry.
No wonder
For
the
a Little
scientists
League-
are going to
the
Germany.
Little League team. You know what? There are millions of white illegal immigrants in this fucking country.
Right.
Millions of them.
lot of them.
Think of Eastern Europe.
This is why
Goddamn
the
us.
Canadians aren't coming down.
Goddamn
Yeah.
Australians.
Canadian
I mean,
tourism's
none of them
way
are getting
down.
fucking deported. None of them are getting, not even close. You don't hear about it at all. Like, and you know, if some white guy from Australia that was here illegally got detained, it'd be all over Fox News. Like, oh yeah, they're not just getting the brown people, you know, but they are just getting the brown
All right, I
people.
guess I'll piss off back to Melbourne.
Oh, strap on the lobby.
All right,
Home, yeah.
all right.
See how that?
Probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's
But you mentioned Powell there earlier, you know, and the interest rates are too high. You know, that's something
Yeah.
that I do agree with. I mean,
Yes.
the money to buy a house is way too much. The money to take out a student loan is way too much. And
loan
you think
sharking.
it's
It's
and
no,
you
it's
think
no
about
loans is
who's
loan
making
sharking.
this money. This is the big banks. They're the ones that
Yes.
are making like a $1 trillion on keeping
Well,
the interest rates.
because we
down.
don't
I
have
think-
we don't have a government program for student
Well,
loans
I think they
anymore.
need the money because of what Steve was just talking about, how people are investing less in America. We could have another big bank problem here like we did in 2008. We definitely, you never know when that
I
shit's
was
gonna
told
happen.
that'll never happen again.
Yeah, right, of course. It's just like the same thing they said after World War One. No more world wars. No way.
But
Don't want to do that again.
There's definitely some stuff that I find agreement on. Interest rates are too
Yes,
high.
of
Red
course.
number 40's got to go. We
Right.
should be eating healthier
Yes,
food.
yes.
I don't have any problem with that kind of stuff. We
Not
kind
at
of
all.
get lost in all this stuff,
Yep.
but you know,
The
come
culture
on.
war drags us all down.
It does. It does. And it's funny, you know, if you ask me, and we're talking about culture,
But
the
the
culture-
problem is just black and white. Everything has to be
Whoa.
black and white now. You can't.
Whoa.
why is there,
Can't
Oh,
agree
I
with
got you.
this.
Okay,
You
I
can't
got
agree one part of this, one part of that.
outside of Joe Dirt and
I thought you were
Talladega,
going dark. I didn't know. Oh.
outside of Joe Dirt and
No, that's
Talladega
on the right
Nights,
side.
you know, where's the culture war on the retards out there, on the dirtbags, on the fucking rednecks, on the hillbillies that don't read at a third grade level? We should have a culture war against these people, against the dumb people. We should. I mean, somewhat. I mean, yes, they make fun of a lot and all that kind of shit, you know, but they're not held up to the standard of like good liberals and things that, you know, that are fighting this culture war.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's weird.
But I guess being dumb, you're just kind of, it's not really their fault, but being racist is a different thing. No, I think
That has a lot to be dumb. That's
these
dumb.
Out in the open, racists need to be pushed back into the shadows.
So they were protesting on the corner of Brooks, I guess, in Missoula the other day. A bunch of white supremacists.
Really?
They were wearing masks, of course, so you couldn't identify them. But had their signs, "White Lives Matters" and all this. Yeah, you guys see that? It was in a Missoulian. They covered it.
Social somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Missed it.
And you know they're still showing. I mean, those people are always
is
around.
that just trolling? Do they really believe that, or are they just trying to get a rise out of people?
I don't know. I don't know, man. No, they believe
I mean,
in it.
there's some billionaire parent. It's not this. It's not Soros. I mean, they got their own billionaire. That's
Peter
paying
Thiel.
for that.
Peter Thiel, yeah.
So do you guys think now that, oh, yeah, Peter Thiel, you know, he doesn't care if humanity survives or not. He thinks there should be a lot less people.
He is
He's
Satan.
insane.
devil.
Yeah,
He is an evil
he's
man.
but he's one of the authors
Come
of
on the show,
Project.
Peter.
He was one of the authors of Project 2025,
Yes,
right?
he was.
And that was something again
First
that
investor
all
in
the
Facebook.
idiots bought. I don't exist. They never did that. President Trump said he didn't know such thing about none at all.
Yeah.
Like, okay, everybody knows it. It's out there, and this is a plan, and they're following this plan pretty closely. People are still out there denying it. That it's false, it's fake, it's not a thing. You know, I mean, I guess when you got that many people buffaloed,
Isn't it a book? Like, wasn't
He
it
might be able to
printed,
stay in power.
Bound.
Right,
He-
it's like a
he might-
manifesto, I guess.
he might be the last president we ever have. You never know. I mean, it seems that
It's
way.
getting that way, isn't it?
So, okay, Ghislaine,
Right.
Gayleen
Can we
Maxwell.
talk about Hulk Hogan first?
Rest in peace, Barry. Yeah.
He's gone.
You know, Bob Uecker left us this year. So did my father. Two people way more important than Hulk Hogan. Neither of them did steroids. And we also lost Ozzy. Fucking Ozzy, dude.
And the guy from the Cosby
And
Show
Theo Huxtable.
Theo Huxtable, dude. Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Got caught in the
Drowned
riptide.
in the ocean.
trying to save his
There was
daughter. in the Riptide, yeah.
Oh, was he? Is that what
really?
he's doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she survive? Oh, yeah, she must have.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. Theo.
Did you ever hear that story about Hulk
I
Hogan?
thought maybe
About the
thought maybe Bill slipped something in his.
Oh,
yeah. Right, he's got the drug.
We
The
need
ocean's
to
big.
put a little pill in the pudding and get it. Take off the underpants. You'll feel much better.
No, did you ever hear the Hulk Hogan story about the blender and the George Foreman grill?
No.
Apparently, his agent called Hulk, rest in peace,
Foreman's agent.
Hulk's agent,
Oh.
who represents both of them,
Oh, okay.
and said, "Hey, I've got two products that these people are pitching. There's a grill and a blender.
Which one do you want?
I think you should take the grill, but you know." And then Hulk was at the pool or something, and the guy was like, "All right, well, I'm going to call George," and George was like, "I want the grill." And then Hulk called back, and he was like, "Well, you're getting the blender. George already took the grill." And then George Foreman made like $500 million on the
Off the
goddamn
Foreman
grill.
grill.
Yeah,
yes.
it's crazy.
And the blender probably didn't make any money at all.
Oh God, no! It's called like the Hurricane blender. It's like a little fucking stupid thing you push with your hand.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's
really?
crazy, yeah.
Oh, my.
I forgot how
not the
wild.
Hulkamania blender.
Yeah, I forgot how wild of a life that guy had.
Who, Hulk?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Yes.
it's like, you know.
Well, think about it. You're around all those hot chicks all the time. You're on a bunch of drugs and steroids.
Right.
You're a big badass that every chick wants to fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, then he had his kid, like his son, who like killed that guy in that
yes.
car wreck.
That's right.
He had the whole remember the Bubba the Love Sponge controversy.
No.
So there's a shock jock.
Remember way too many
Yeah.
things.
Well,
Ryan.
there's a shock jock down
do.
in
Yes.
down in Tampa radio. He's like the Howard Stern of Tampa. He's
Okay.
called Bubba the Love Sponge. And Hulk Hogan had an affair with his wife. And Bubba set up a secret camera in the bedroom, and they caught Hulk in the act. And
Oh, yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
standing up, and he's patting. He's going, "God, I ate too much fucking sushi." And then he just randomly says the N word like 10 times. He's like, "I hate fucking meat." and
Oh, yeah.
and that's what led to the website. If you remember the website Gawker.
Oh,
there was
yeah.
that-
Yep, I
there was
do.
that-
That's, yep.
That video was
That
what
was
led
made
to that
Gawker
$250 million suit because the judge said,
and Hulk won.
yeah, Hulk won because the judge said you have to take this video down because it was obtained illegally. Gawker said we have a First Amendment right. We're not going to do it. The courts disagreed, and they got hit with a $250
That's
million
right.
judgment.
That's right. Gawker, man.
Crazy.
That
like
kind of
Hulk
ended
Hogan.
that.
Did that
you
go
know.
all the way up to the
I
Supreme?
think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Crazy
a
like
that was a
Hulk
big
Hogan.
deal.
And this is even outside of just like, body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3.
Think about
Pontiac Silverdome. I remember that.
Ozzy Osbourne's crazy life.
Oh, crazy.
Holy shit!
Crazy.
I mean, fuck. He was fucked up for the
He's
last
one
10
that
years.
bit the head off a bat,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Ozzy's
Yeah.
deal?
You shouldn't
And
have
a
to ask. You
dove.
should know
And
that.
a dove.
And a dove. Yeah. Well, you got to make
actually
good
on
and
this
bad.
this radio show called NPR, they actually had
What's
they had a
Sounds
story
woke.
about it on Weekend Edition about it was just like a almost like a 10-minute segment on Ozzy Osbourne just because
He did.
Wow.
they like to celebrate people that are iconic in the world.
He did acid like 195 days in a row or
Yeah,
something,
something crazy like
like
that.
that.
I almost caught up to that, but I had to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
True
He was only,
icon,
he was
though.
only
I mean,
75.
we talk about Hulk Hogan, but he's not even in the same realm as Ozzy Osbourne
No.
when it comes to
No.
like
Drug taking.
iconoclast and
Well,
just like
and Black Sabbath songs are just
Right.
they're
Fucking
so classic,
awesome.
iconic.
So
invented metal.
incredible.
They're so good. Yes.
Just so War Pigs. Oh my god. Dude, I saw a guy doing karaoke to War Pigs at the Blue Moon once. It was so fucking
Obama
funny.
laughing spreads his wings.
All right. Come on. Let's
All right, you wanted to get into
we got to talk about
You wanted
Epstein
to
a little
get
bit
into
because this is
Jerry.
Yeah.
Ryan's been dying to do an
Jeffrey.
Epstein episode.
We're gonna do one.
We'll do it. We'll do a whole one. But
It's
what's
gonna
really
take a while.
this
we'll do
isn't
one.
this isn't the episode.
No, we're just gonna dip our toes in the
let's dip our
this was
toes.
the
It was
Epstein
going to be the
episode.
Epstein episode, but we had property taxes. We got all kinds of things to talk about. We always do.
The Epstein episode will be a full
It'll be-
hour or two. It's a long one.
Yeah, we're gonna
after they release the tapes.
Okay, that's what I want to talk
No
about. That's
files.
where we're going to dip our toes. Okay, talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, that was shit. That was smoke and mirrors for sure, for fucking sure. It all is.
Yep.
When Trump was told he was mentioned in this a lot,
Mm-hmm.
by Bondi, this is all written down and said. He says that's a lie. He's never been told.
Yep.
We all know that's not true.
Of course.
But, I don't see the liberal media calling him out for any of this. I don't see the liberal media doing a goddamn thing.
No.
Is it because Bill Clinton's on the list and they're afraid of what he
cares?
says? Exactly. Who gives a fuck? Who cares who's on the list at all? If thousands of women, young women,
So
got
is Stephen
violated
Hawking.
and this all happened.
Stephen Hawking is on the list.
Thousands of Stephen Hawking was on the
Molested
list.
by Stephen Hawking. That's kind of on you.
I don't know how that would happen.
Sorry,
You-
that's-
that's
sorry,
that sounds very futuristic.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's-
how he would
You
do
can't get
that.
away from that guy.
The answer to
Yeah.
the universe is
Over here,
Hey,
sit by
you're
me.
close. Well, you are pretty.
No, but I agree with you, Ed. It's like, so personally, if I was on Trump's team, I would say these are the three things that need to happen to kind of get your arms around this Epstein scandal, because I really think it's engulfing his presidency.
Oh, I think it is, and he just keeps brushing it off. And that never gets better.
You got to release everything you have, all the files, all the documents, everything.
And everything where his name is, it'll be redacted. Oh, I
You
wonder
gotta
what that
release-
is.
You got to release everything. 2, Pam Bondi's got to go.
Yeah.
Got to fire Pam Bondi.
Well, Bondingo's been getting some
Yeah,
cryptic messages.
Mr. Bongina, yeah.
He's been fucking putting some cryptic messages
Yes.
out there.
She's got to go. Number 3, Ghislaine has to testify under oath in front of Congress.
That I think should happen instantly.
That would be the three
They
things.
gave her immunity for all
Yep,
the
that would be the
questions.
three things
And
I would tell them.
so
if you do
you
this,
see-
that'll give you
You
enough
see
cover.
Trump, when they asked him if he considers pardoning her, she's like, I haven't thought about it.
That
but,
would be
but I could do it.
catastrophic.
But I could do it.
Catastrophic.
Well, he said he hasn't thought about the J6ers, but he did. He didn't think about Roger Stone, but he did it. He didn't think
Yeah.
about all these people, Mike Flynn, and he ended up pardoning all of them. And he said the exact same.
So you believe him when he says I didn't think about it?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely not.
where
Because
are
he's
we
been
there?
thinking about it forever. So, I mean, why wouldn't we think that when whoever it was who went and interviewed her? Had it been the head of Department of Justice?
Yeah, it was a guy at the DOJ.
Okay, so, just say, because I think it's very possible, he's like, listen, you testified before Congress. Trump had nothing to do with this.
Yep.
All the Democrats did. And throw in a few Republicans just to spice it up. Because there's going to be people that are in the know. This is what the problem is. This is what I think why
Let her perjure herself.
This is why they're
and
so
then pardon her.
confused what
Yeah.
to do, because they don't know how to protect the ones they want to protect without unprotecting certain people. Because when you do call out certain people, they're going to open their fucking mouth. They're like, "Fuck you!" If you're going to redact him and not me, oh, it's on. I'm going to give you proof. Like,
Mutually
I think
assured destruction. That's
it's
what this is all
There
about.
is no positive outcome to any of this. I don't see a positive outcome at all.
That's why Biden didn't touch it.
But again,
because
where the fuck are the leaks? Anything like this big, there has been leaks.
I think we're
And-
dealing with very, very powerful people. I mean, we're talking
Still.
kings. We're talking Saudi princes. We're
Oh,
talking.
no, for sure. British royalty.
And honestly, don't you think? Honestly, this is where QAnon came from. Jeffrey Epstein is like the QAnon prince. He is like this story. The QAnon story is based around him,
Pretty much.
and this international cabal of child.
Well, QAnon's more about
pedophiles and
babies. They talk a lot about babies.
Well, they had to make
I mean,
it.
a 14-year-old girl. Like, what I don't understand,
They had to run away with the.
why don't all these
script.
people go to India?
like
Fuck, I think you can have sex with a 12-year-old in India, so why wouldn't they just set up shop there? What the fuck? No, seriously.
Blonde and blue eyes.
Oh, they want blonde and blue eyes. You're right. They're getting Eastern Europeans and shit. But, I mean, I'd move my sex ring to fucking India. I'd be protected. I don't give a fuck. This is all arranged, because it happens there, and it's the way of life. It's just how it is there. Isn't that fucking nuts? That's the biggest country in the world. More people than China.
it's huge.
And, people marry 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
My mom was just there. She said it's wild.
Oh,
But
God.
isn't it like 12-year-olds marrying 12-year-olds though?
No, it's 40-year-old men marrying them. It is. Look it up. It's fucked up. It is fucked up.
thanks.
Family
I don't-
arranged
I don't really
marriages.
need- I don't.
Yeah, I might not want to
There's
Google
some
that
things.
one.
There's
Steve.
some things I don't want to know.
Well, don't look it up at the library, at the public library. Do not do that at your house.
I'll do it from your computer here.
Do
Yeah,
that.
good
That's
idea.
a city computer there.
But it's interesting,
Your
like you
work
said.
phone. Use your work phone.
It's interesting, like you said, Steve, about Epstein kind of kicked off all this QAnon stuff, but we've known about Trump's associations with Epstein
Forever.
since 2016, 2017.
And everything that we know that's proven to be true,
Yes.
he sits there and denies.
It just
I mean,
kind of-
it's amazing how this guy gets away with denying
kind
anything.
of
How many hundreds of pictures of them together?
I know.
fucking videos.
And he
with,
says,
like,
I don't draw
recordings.
pictures. And they
They're
show
all old pictures.
Yeah.
They
Nothing
show
new.
pictures that
All
Trump
over.
has drawn before.
Yes.
Yeah, from
I don't do this. I don't do that. Well, here you've done it
2017.
before. You've done it 100 times.
Absolutely.
But he just sits up there and says he didn't do it.
But
and
how-
that's it.
But QAnon, they squared that circle with Trump because, they knew about all this stuff, Trump's connections to Epstein. They've known about it for a decade. They always said, well, he's taking it down from the inside. That was always Q's thing. It says, yes, he knows these people.
That's
he's in
why
all
he
these
hung out with
photos.
Epstein.
Right. He's taking
Taking it down from the inside.
from the
He's our
inside.
mole on the inside. That's kind of how. And then Q turned out to be a big farce. And it was
You
just some-
watched the Netflix special.
Yeah, it
how
was just
started.
some guy in
I
the
love it.
Philippines,
I love it. Him and his dad.
But now they're really having a hard time, reckoning with the fact that you drive around Kalispell and you see all the bumper stickers that say "shoot your local pedophile," things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And now they're just covering for
So,
a cabal of
a
pedophiles.
fucking
Do you
real
really
pedophile.
think they care? I
Did
really
you
don't
see-
think they care.
No. Do you see what
really
just
don't think
happened?
they care.
And it's somewhere in Montana. I think it might have been the Flathead, where a guy a pedophile just got a 10-year deferred sentence, not going to fucking jail at all. This just came out in the newspaper yesterday or today.
Doesn't sound like Flathead, but
It's somewhere in
the
Montana.
judge must not want a job anymore.
well-
was it Judge Eddie?
He must not have had a
Liberal,
public defender.
Yeah, liberals.
He must have had a great
No,
PD. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember. I wish I should have. Well, maybe I did email it to ourselves. No. Oh, I didn't? Fuck.
I don't know, Steve. I really think it is taking a toll on
his
Trump's
presidency.
base. I think if he
yeah.
loses 15, 20% of his base to this Epstein stuff, he's cooked. Cooked in 2026, 2028's gone. This is a huge, he's been the Teflon Don for a decade now. This is a huge problem.
I think this stuff matters to people more than they let on. People just, they talk about it, but they're not like, oh, I'm not going to change teams. But, we're talking about 3 to 5%. We're trying to move 3
is
to
a big one.
5%. And this
And
is
voting
moving
is
3
still
to 5%.
anonymous. So
This is a
we
big
got our
one. No,
fingers
that's a good
crossed,
point.
but-
Yeah, there's nothing in the booth, but
Yeah, I don't know.
we'll have Steve back for the Epstein episode, and you'll be educated, man,
Yeah.
after that episode. I'll
If
tell you what.
if we don't get a hold
You're
of
going to call
Tester-
me in. You're going to be like, this guy should not know this much about
Well,
Jeffrey Epstein.
there's a lot going on there, and I don't know. It just seems as if, the right, they hate the pedophiles, and it's all the trans and the
Apparently
fags.
not.
It's all trans and fags.
Right.
They're the pedophiles. They're the ones that are making these bathrooms
They
transgender.
spent 4 years saying, stop grooming kids.
It's
You're grooming
fucking
kids.
insane. It's an insanely stupid argument. It's so stupid, but these people are generally racist, They're stupid. They're bigots.
Yeah.
No, they're fucked up people, you know? Like, they are fucked up
They're
people.
cattle.
Yeah.
And yes, sticking up for trans people was too woke, and America didn't like it. I get it. And yes,
But the reason it matters
far.
to them, and the reason you know it matters to them, is because they're silent about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're not
they're silent.
talking about
They're not
it.
talking about it. They're not
They're-
talking
they're-
about gas prices.
yeah.
They're not talking about beef prices. They're not talking about anything. They are. You're right. They're
It's
not,
Epstein.
and they're not being loud. I mean,
When was the last time we had something in the news last 3 weeks in a Trump administration?
it doesn't.
I mean, it
no,
just
it's 3
comes and
minutes.
goes. It just comes and goes.
That's the point. You keep it going. Keep
Even
it
the
going.
tariff nonsense that cost trillions and trillions of dollars came and went.
So, did you guys see
Caused
the-
people to
Tariffs are
retire.
boring.
It was gone. Like I know. I was like, this is a big deal.
Did you guys see the new EU tariffs? I was looking at it.
15%.
I was looking at it. Was like, how
we're
is-
selling $750 billion of our energy to them.
I was like, how is this a win for us?
I don't know
Where
because
it's
it seems like our energy costs are going to go up because we're going to have less of
where
it.
it's like it's 0 for them, but 15%. So anything from the EU that comes to us, we have to pay a 15%. You know, the tariff's 15%, which they're going to charge to us, but it's 0 going to them.
Yeah,
Well, because
your
they promised-
BMW got
pretty
more
smart.
Well, it's
expensive.
like, how is that a win? That's
Well, because they agreed to buy $750 billion worth of energy from America.
Okay.
Which some critics are saying that will cost Americans. Our electric bills are going to probably skyrocket.
how does that work?
I don't fucking know how you sell energy across the goddamn Pacific Ocean. I don't know.
It's liquefied natural gas. Is the majority
Okay,
of it.
so like a
How do
like
they
a-
get it there? Tankers?
like Captain Phillips type
Oh,
tanker?
yeah.
They
Okay.
got to get it out of the U.S. I mean, otherwise it's going to get too cheap for people.
Yeah, right. Corporate America would not like that, and we must take care of them.
Let's become an oil. Let's become an oil exporter
Yeah,
Yeah.
during a Democratic administration, and then talk about how we don't produce enough oil in the United States.
So Biden allowed drilling up in Alaska and off these shores. He did a lot of things that conservatives have wanted for years.
Didn't Trump start it, and then Biden just didn't undo it?
No, he actually added. Biden added to it, and he did things that did piss off some liberals. And this is like 3 years ago. This is his second year or whatever. But he does it, and I see Democrats do this to appease and work with across the aisle. And you do not see a fucking Republican do this.
No.
Gavin Newsom said the other day, he's like, this is it. We cannot fucking sit back. Democrats got to wake up, and there's got to be leadership. We can't sit back and let them do whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want, and steal these elections. If they're going to gerrymander Texas to make sure there's more Texas Republicans in the House, well, then California, Washington, New York,
Yep.
D.C., all
They
these
should.
places need to fucking do the same thing. Because if they do, Republicans aren't winning again.
You guys ever
Not
seen that?
the House.
You ever seen that house map in Texas?
Oh my
It
God!
is
It looks so fucking weird.
diabolical.
It
I
is
mean,
so insane.
Oh, Dan Crenshaw's district
like
is
you look
like a scorpion tail. I mean, it is ridiculous.
I mean, so and that's crazy.
Yeah.
That
Well,
they're-
they got the
that
science. They
one-eyed
know
fuck.
exactly how people are thinking, how people are voting.
Oh, they do.
can draw those maps to right down to the household
precise.
level.
Cracking and stacking. Yeah, they've been doing
well,
it.
look,
for
how many
years.
Been
representatives?
doing it since the 1700s
Yeah.
in this
Oh
country.
yeah, and now the data is just fantastic.
I mean, how many reps are out of
Thank you,
California?
Peter Thiel.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine how they did it back
I think
then?
they're
with
saying
just
that they could get a net 7
paper,
Democratic
they
seats
didn't
just
even just try
redistricting
to-
in California.
Yeah, I think California has like 50
52 or something, right?
something.
I think they said somehow they could get a net 7
So why
Democrats.
aren't they doing it?
Well, they're going to.
Well,
Oh.
because they're Democrats. They
Yeah,
have to
'cause they're
talk about.
Democrats.
They have to form a committee. Then the committee has to go meet
gonna
with
take
somebody
fucking years.
else, and then there's regulations
Yeah.
they have to deal
we're
with,
gonna
and they
send
have
this back to the-
application they
yeah.
got to put in.
We're gonna send this back to the focus groups. We'll reconvene in 9 months.
They got to ask Hillary Clinton her opinion.
It's like there's a tank rolling down Spokane Avenue.
I don't know. One person said that they are really involved in this issue, so we're going to really focus on.
Mike, you just hit the nail on the head with that. You did. And
Rhonda
so
doesn't like it.
does
We gotta-
that mean does that mean that the AOC, she just got ranked number 2 most popular
behind
president choice
behind Booty Judge.
behind Buttigieg? Yeah. And then Mondani in New York. Okay, I mean,
Still a bit of a hot
are
wire.
the Democrats need to do that?
I think the Democrats need more voices, and the people are going to
That I
decide
agree
which
with.
voice is going to come forward. But unless Democrats step out and they use their AOCs and the Mondamis and the Buttigiegs and whoever else they got on the bench, unless those guys start talking, you know, they're just going to be sucking wind the whole
That's what
time.
they're gonna be doing. They're
And
gonna be
they got to
ineffective.
talk. They got to get the people out there
because
thinking about it.
These issues, these making, the city-run grocery stores,
None of it's that big of a deal. It's
making
not.
groceries cheaper, more and more efficient buses, cheaper childcare, cheaper rent. These are massively popular issues.
Oh, yeah. And what the Democrats always do is like, well, I don't 100% agree with you that you want to do it this way.
Right.
You know, and they
There's a
start
better
tearing
way.
it down.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and just settle on, look, stuff costs too much. The rent is
Let's
too
put it in
bloody
committee.
high. You
And then
know?
your student loan reform becomes, well, we're offering Pell Grants for black students in urban areas that have gone to the same school for 3 years or more. And it's like, you've lost me. I'm done.
Mike, that is
I mean,
right.
that makes a lot of sense.
That's the Democrat way.
The Republicans have been lower taxes, lower taxes, lower taxes, and there's a certain population that hears that. But if you come in and say cheaper rents, cheaper groceries, cheaper gas,
Well,
that is what we
in
stand
your email,
for.
you
That's
kind of
where we're
said that
going.
is, the realization
Those
of younger
have to
people.
has to be that message.
I think the younger people are realizing now. I'm not going to be a homeowner.
No.
I'm not going to have massive wealth.
No.
I don't have a fucking chance. Without buying that house, you don't have a fucking chance. If I never bought my first house here 25 years ago, I wouldn't have a chance. No fucking way. Nothing to borrow on. And at prices now, I see this pandemic fuck shit up bad. But it put prices, all-time high across the country. I mean, it's high everywhere. It is. And
That's why they got to lower those interest rates.
things never
bring
come
those
down.
things down.
They do. Well, they do.
Well, I saw something the other day that said that young people in this country have a 68% favorability rating for socialism. And
Oh, wow, that's
boomers
big.
are
That's
just
like the highest ever.
are beside themselves. And I said, well,
Well,
let's think,
why? Go figure it
it's like,
out.
well, let's think about this.
What do they got to lose?
You've got a 19-year-old that says, well, I don't think that people should ruin their lives over medical debt or, going bankruptcy because they get sick.
Even though millions do
Can't
it.
we take care of them? No, we can't do that. That's socialism. They go, well, I'd love to go to college, but, tuition's gone up 500% in the last 15 years and a 7% interest rate. I mean, seems like legalized loan sharking. Can't we make tuition cheaper? That's socialism.
No,
And
that's
they
like
go,
Israel.
Yeah.
And don't even worry about the $4 billion a year we give them.
They go, God, I
to
miss
have free abortions and free college and
they
free
go,
health
God,
care.
I missed the bus. Like, there's not another one coming for 34 minutes. Can we maybe have more of them? And maybe they're electric. They go, no, that's socialism. And then eventually all these 18 to 24-years-olds go, hey, this socialism thing seems kind of all right.
You're right.
You
It
know?
could backfire out
They
of here
go,
because
wow,
that sounds
this
pretty
is
good.
all the things I want. I get screamed at that says it's socialism. Well, I want some of this socialism.
Well, a young
Well,
person.
that's because the boomers would say, well, that's what they've been teaching in schools for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
This guy
And
right
so
here.
we
he's a
gotta
teacher.
we gotta absolutely
Harvard.
let more people have better choice so they can take your public dollars and give them to a private institution for
truly
your
don't
kid to go to
remember
school there.
The socialism indoctrination when I was at Whitefish High School. I mean, maybe Kevin can correct me. But
Yeah, I mean, but this is
Mr.
never
Kazazza
had.
wasn't
It
big
never
on
had.
the
I mean,
Viet Cong.
It never happened.
It's the narrative from the very smallest town to the biggest cities in this country. It is the conservative, right wing, MAGA-tard, whatever you call it. It's the narrative.
MAGA-tard.
You
That's a
know,
good one.
this is it. Socialism, and just keep hammering away how bad it is and how bad all this free shit is. But don't mention that we are under a lot of socialism. I mean, there's a lot of. We do have Medicaid. We do have Medicare. I mean, if you're a veteran,
the police.
the police. I mean,
Firefighters. The library.
It depends on if it depends on if it's good or not. It depends on if
sorts
they
of
pass bonds or mills for it. But
Yeah.
I a lot of times hear no. But they've hammered that message home pretty good for the better part of my life, really.
Yes.
This anti-socialism thing, like when Reagan became president and these corporations, everybody started taking over, and it really hasn't stopped since. Again, our income gap hasn't gotten any better. And people on the right, they do not talk about it. If you ever notice on Fox News, they have never talked about that ever, and they won't. And even liberal media doesn't talk about it. It's not interesting. It's not juicy. It's not sexy. But it's the truth. And you're never going to own a home. Hey, if you're under 24 years old and your daddy and mommy aren't rich, you're not owning a house.
Well, Americans don't really want stuff given to them.
No.
They want the
They want it to be
tools, they
fair.
want opportunity, they
Right.
want a chance. And I think younger kids
But the
today are
narrative
starting
is-
to see that their chances vanish.
Right. The
gone.
ladder's
And
being pulled up.
And you have to remember that, the economic engines of America, the cities, it's bloody expensive to live in
Oh
the
my
cities.
God.
And
The
something's
average home
happening.
in Seattle's $1 million.
Oh, yeah,
it's like
but
here, but a
look,
city
you
of
can-
millions of people.
The government in Texas can build houses cheaper than the government in California.
Without question.
And so, the Democratic-run cities have to figure out that they're
Right.
part of the problem with their regulation stuff
Yes.
that's so burdensome and people don't want to take chances and that kind of stuff. And, this is going to be a real wake-up call for folks.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. And the Democrats should do something. They should, because, again, the right and MAGA is winning the narrative of it. They do make socialism sound like it's the worst thing in the world and this and that, and where it might not be to these younger people that don't stand a chance.
Actually, they're going to go, I don't know, that sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, it sounds sweet.
Well,
I think
If I'm not going to own a
eventually-
house, why should I pay for health care? Why should I? But Mike, you're right. People want to work for things. They want to earn things. I think that is an American ideal. But again, MAGA people, these fucking idiots are going to say, nope, left don't want it. They're all fucking lazy. They're brown. They're lazy. They're gay. They're molesters. They're pedos. They're the filth of the earth. So fucking lazy. They just want everything for free. I don't know a goddamn liberal that wants anything for
There's
free.
some
I do
things-
not.
There's some things you don't want to have to work your whole entire life just to afford, like fucking
Yes.
healthcare. I mean, seriously, there are some things that the government has said, you know what, no, we actually have to be involved in this because it's something that private businesses can't really take over. And we look at what happened with deregulation in Montana, for example. Like, energy is a perfectly prime market to be regulated by a larger entity that makes sure that what it costs for the people where the energy is produced is fair to the compared to what the people that are getting it exported to them, they should pay more.
Our rate
Instead
just
of
went up
this giant free
17%.
market for those things because not anybody can get into that business. Capitalism works when in businesses where there's a low barrier to entry.
Right.
And
Kevin and I can't start our own Northwestern Energy.
exactly. The healthcare is the same exact
could.
way, although it's
maybe we can.
maybe a little bit different because of, a band of doctors can get together and create a system where they can treat people. But that would be great if doctors did that in every little community. But that's not the way that healthcare should work either.
No.
And we pay so much in overhead to all of our insurance companies. For what? For absolutely nothing,
know.
so
For
that they
profit.
can get
For
rich.
profit.
For their profit. For their profit.
Well, it's
not
always-
my convenience.
it's always-
not my fun.
It's always so funny to me when the Republicans go, I don't want socialized health care. Why should I be paying for someone else's health care? I prefer the current system where not only do I pay for someone else's health care through my premiums, but I pay for some blood-sucking middleman's salary whose sole purpose is to deny me health care.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yep. It's exactly right.
Well,
and of course, and the right will make the argument, well, Canadian doctors don't make money. Israeli doctors don't make money. Norwegian doctors don't make. They all make money.
Right.
And they all aren't fucking swallowed in debt and insurance costs. None of them are like us. None of them. No fucking country in the world is like us when it comes to that. Your average doctor doesn't make a dime until he's well into his 50s, paying off his student loans, buying his house, paying insurance, because insurance on that shit's insurance on everything is really expensive and out of hand.
Average physician in Canada makes between $200,000 and $400,000.
That's
this
more
was
than
the
your
big
average
argument. I remember when
American, I bet.
Schweitzer and Bacchus were in town. Bacchus was passing the ACA, and
Yeah.
Schweitzer was like, "Look, you should do more of a Canadian system, single payer
Right.
kind of system,
Yes.
and do a base rate. And just like in Canada, people still have private insurance after that.
Yeah.
They do.
But they got their base rate thing, and those guys argued about that. I mean, they didn't get along for a lot of years. They had very different
Schweitzer and
philosophy
Bach,
on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
and I don't doubt that the U.S. healthcare system is amazing if you are unbelievably wealthy.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like, I
If
bet
you-
it's great.
Yeah.
But
It's like
That's
paying
not me.
taxes for those people. I mean, it's whatever their taxes are, it's what they are. They don't care because it doesn't move the needle in their budget every year. And healthcare doesn't either.
No, I know, and the truth is, Democrats and Republican, pretty much rich people are paying less almost every fucking year. I mean, it's just amazing to me that the rich are just getting definitely richer, way fucking richer.
It's the transfer. They always talk the Reagan era when communism became the evil boogeyman again. They talked about this, this communist socialist idea of transferring wealth from the rich people down to the bottom classes.
That's socialism.
Well, but nobody is saying how much wealth has been since 1980 has been transferred up to the top 1%
A
in
lot
this
of it.
country.
Shit ton.
And
A
it's like
lot.
40% of the wealth in this country has been transferred upward
Yes.
since the Reagan years
seems very
of government is
backwards.
bad, government can't do anything for you.
Like, how is that patriotic, and how is that a great country? Just, I mean, just really, if you just look at it on its face, say, huh, greatest country in the world, weird.
At prisoners, at locking people up.
Oh
We
yeah,
are number one on that.
murder, killing babies with guns.
Number one.
Number one. We're number one. I mean, it is. There's a lot of things we're number one at that we shouldn't be very proud of, but somehow there is all this patriotism going around and I think it makes life easier for people just to sit there and believe something's, like people that believe in God, they're like, hey, at least when I die, I'm taken care of.
Sure, my
like, I
life's
feel
shitty
good.
now, but
Yeah, I'll
I'm
be
a-
up there,
yeah, I know.
and that's good. I mean,
Well, especially since the Pope did away with purgatory.
that's true.
did.
I mean,
Finally.
yeah.
And you know what? Looking into the Muslim religion, I think I'd rather believe in that because it sounds like the afterlife is pretty
boy.
fucking awesome.
Head's getting
No, only if you martyr. Only if you become a martyr.
God.
Who knows? Maybe it's
I mean,
worth it.
to be honest with you, of all the things that Biden wasn't, Sleepy Joe, all those things, the things that I
sleepy.
really am frustrated with him for, at least, the things that he said, he's like,
Come on, man.
We're going to restore,
Corn pop.
we're going to restore the idea that government is here to serve you, and that's what it should be.
Well, he
and
said that a lot.
That
I
was the
know.
paradigm from the 1940s until the 80s when
that seems
Roosevelt
like a
came
good
in and
thing.
said, you know what? We've let businesses run this country for so long that they have gotten so greedy that they don't care. They will sacrifice all of us for a buck.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he said, no, we're gonna change that. We're gonna put into place the things that are gonna actually protect the consumer, protect people, help people, give people a hand up. And Biden kind of brought that back from a long time ago. Obama wasn't talking about that. Bill Clinton wasn't talking about that. But Biden was saying,
Well, it's because he
government
could
is
remember
here.
that stuff from 50 years ago.
Yeah, because government is here to help you. We're here to serve you. We're here to do the things that you cannot do for yourself.
I mean, that's what it's
And-
for, But now you've got half this country thinking that's not right. That's not it. Trump doesn't say that. You
But
gotta.
you have to think about, look, if you're building a house, right? How much red tape do you have to go from buying the lot
Oh, in
to actually
Whitefish?
moving
A
anywhere
lot.
in a zoned
True.
area?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that is a lot of red tape that
It's a
you're
lot.
going through,
It's
a lot of
bullshit.
planning processes if you're doing a bigger thing. A lot of inspectors, a lot of fees, a lot of permits.
A lot.
And so people get a real perception that government is a problem, especially when government's coming in and they're reappraising your house and they're overtaxing you. I mean, government is
Yes.
doing stuff to you. That's hurts.
Well, yeah, I built a building, last year, finished it last year, and honestly, the process was horrible. It was horrible. It just was. I mean, just from just how they treated you,
Fucking
and
Craig
it's all
Workman.
about money, Oh, I like Craig. He's a good
Everybody
guy.
loves Craig.
Yeah,
I'm
he's a
just
good
giving
guy.
him
I'm
shit.
talking about fucking building inspectors and stuff, which I'm not going to talk about. But they're kind of like, it's on their time, and like your press for time as a contractor, and you're doing this, you need this done. It's like, hey, I'm here. No word from them. They don't tell you when they're coming. They might not see you. The lady in the office is always nice, but it's like, it's a hassle. It would be hard. If I build again, it would probably be in the county, not in the city at all. I would be.
What's the alternative to some of those things? That's my question always as somebody who sits on the municipal government here. It's like,
Unfettered building.
what is the alternative?
Yeah.
Do we let people just build whatever they want like they do in the county with no
No,
building
we
codes?
take a picture and
Like,
we
all you gotta
email
do
to
is-
them, and they look at it instantly.
Then
and approve
Great
it.
White
like,
comes-
fucking, there's ways to streamline it.
Then Great White comes to town and there's a fire and 60 people die in the goddamn nightclub.
Yeah, well, we don't even get into a fire in this town because even though Hildner's kind of crazy in my opinion, he's right about a lot of things when it comes to like we could be fucked here with a fire. Not to get way off subject, but like even when it's busy after skiing and shit, it sucks. If there's a train, you want to go over that viaduct, it's horrible. It sucks, and I don't know why we don't. I don't understand why. And Steve, you're on city council. I don't understand why our city council doesn't fight harder for this stuff. And actually, because for one, you're not fucking getting paid shit. Why do you give a fuck?
Well, not
Half
anymore.
of you are fucking millionaires.
They
half
worked
of you guys
quickly
are
to fix that
millionaires.
problem.
I don't know how much you care, but if you did care, we would have one way coming in on 93, one way going out in Baker. It'd all be rezoned. It'd all be redone. Shit would get done. If this was fucking Japan, oh my God, I can imagine how great we'd be. But give us a reason why the fuck it's not. I understand you need state money to do things. I get
People
it.
don't want roundabouts. That's the main reason.
I don't give a
It's 'cause
fuck. I'm
they're
not even
too
talking about
small.
roundabouts.
You gotta put
People-
big roundabouts.
And I don't care about roundabouts. I think they should have roundabouts.
Some of the comments we would get in traffic studies when I was on council, like the hatred that you would see for roundabouts. Oh my god!
They've been in Europe
That
for 100
roundabout
fucking
that
years.
took out there by Glacier Bank there, you know, that one, that little mini roundabout that you go
Yeah.
and scrape your car on.
That wasn't really a roundabout. I mean, that was.
Well-
I don't even know what that was.
It just seems insane that we're not doing anything about our traffic at all, and why we can't get the money.
I don't know. I
State
keep
doesn't
hearing
care.
people say that everyone's going to bicycle. We don't need parking spots.
There
Nobody
you go.
uses cars anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the state said no. Yep, you can build whatever you want. No parking restrictions now.
Oh yeah, go up 60
in
feet
business
high now.
zones, yeah, up to 60 feet, no parking required. You know, the thing, it's not that we don't talk about it and try to solve some of the problems. It's that when we come up with a solution and the state comes up with its own solution,
Right, you don't agree.
because the state has its own ideas and they don't live here, they don't talk to people here. They're off in Helena.
They want to cut all the trees down and make it a concrete jungle coming into town. That's
They
horrible.
wanted to take the $12 million in improvements we did on Second with the bulb outs, with better sidewalks, with better areas where people could walk around. They wanted to take all that out along Second Street and make it a 4-lane highway. And we said, no, we're not
that would
doing
look
that.
horrible.
And
That
they
would look
said,
horrible. We
okay,
don't want that."
that's our solution. You don't like that solution? Sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
And they control the highways,
No, I
so
know. And that sucked, and we're not
we
gonna get
can't do
anything done.
anything. We cannot. So we can't. We could. Well, I take that back. We could do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But we'd have to pay for all of it. And how much do you think the citizens are willing to pay an extra $500 a year in taxes so that we can build a better transportation
They
system?
might. Or lobby the government to get a higher fucking sales tax.
Or how about we take all the people that live past Wisconsin in the county and have them have a special improvement district to improve Wisconsin because they're the ones who complain the loudest
Yeah.
about the lack of fire
Yep.
safety,
Yep.
about the problems with Wisconsin,
But
because
my
they don't
whole
like
life
to have
is
to
that
drive.
side, so I'm not for
and
it.
those people all no, I'm not talking even up here. I'm talking about out past Big Mountain Road where
Yeah,
the city
yeah.
ends.
Oh, right,
because,
yeah.
you know, they have all the money.
They do have
They
a lot
could
of money.
fund that. Mark Jones
Dan
could,
Weinberg.
Mark Jones could have fixed Wisconsin by the signing of a check.
He could do whatever
But he didn't do
wants.
anything. Except complain about the traffic on Wisconsin. And if he
He's giving $1
saw
million
apartments at the bottom,
housing. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
and if he saw apartments at the bottom of the Big Mountain Road, he was going to withhold all his money, all his
I
charitable
know.
money to the Whitefish Community
and you
Foundation.
people on city council
So it's
just
like-
buckled. Just kidding.
You know,
You did.
yeah, let's fix it. But why don't you guys
It was that
put together
roundabout,
something and
wasn't it?
fix
It was
it?
a roundabout.
It was that
Instead
damn
of-
It was a
roundabout.
roundabout. If they would have just said no roundabout and just a yield
When's the
sign.
city gonna? When's Whitefish gonna annex all that? The mountain, all of it.
We're in talks about the Big Mountain. It's not as easy
It's
as
supposed to
one
be
would
this
think.
year.
Breaking
It's supposed to be
news.
2023.
Yeah.
I've been here since '99 when I bought my house on Big Mountain Road. They said, "Hey, you're going to have sewer here within about 5 years. They're going to annex it in." Oh, really? So I talked to like Turner Askew, and that's something we're looking at, and like here we
Gonna
are.
pay to drag sewer all the way. up here?
23. Well, there's a sewer that
Nobody.
runs down. Sewer runs down.
I know, but who's gonna? But you got to get the pipes up
You
here.
do. Well, sure you do. You had to get him to Silverbrook. Kalispell to get him to Silverbrook. You pay for that shit. Developers, people pay for it. It happens.
Developers paid for it. This is all developed.
Well, not as much as it could. No.
Well,
not even.
if you get the
close.
right developer who's willing to drag sewer all the way up here,
I mean-
and then charge you $25,000 to connect to
It's
it.
just they would. That's the thing. Of course you'd have to. But my point was, it's just they've been telling me this forever that they're going to annex it in, and it just still hasn't happened.
Well, I mean,
and for me, what sucks is living on that road for 23 years. You call the cops because some fucking asshole, like I got passed by a semi once on Big Mountain Road coming down on a corner, a semi cab.
Well, how slow were you going?
I was not going that slow. I'm like, this
It
is
was pretty
fucking
high.
like
I mean,
this
let's
guy
be
was
honest.
like in a bad mood or something. But I called and go, something, I don't know, something might happen. Like, well, that's not our jurisdiction. Well, he's 3/4 of a mile away from your jurisdiction.
he's almost there.
But that's what you always got. If you ever call the
Fucking
cops up there, that's what you
Bill Dial.
got.
I don't know that that's totally true.
What?
I've called the city police when I hit a deer on Big Mountain Road, and they were like, "Okay, they said, yeah, it's not our jurisdiction, but we'll send somebody." And
Oh, to clean up a
also
deer for
put
sure.
in the- we'll
But
put
they're
in
not
the
going
call.
after any. They're not going
Well, they have
after
to call.
people.
I have to file a police report, and they help.
They got to
help
call
get
the
in touch with
food
city.
banks.
They're not
Food
chasing
bank
down the
comes
trucker
gets
from
them.
Not yet,
Duel.
but that's coming.
Yeah,
if
that's
you've
what
ever
it felt
seen
like.
that movie.
That's what I love that movie.
No, I
Stephen
mean-
King.
The difference between Big
Spielberg
Mountain,
deep cut, yeah.
difference between Big Mountain and Northwoods in this area is that we have an annexation agreement with a certain number of properties. I don't know how many they are
Right.
on Big Mountain, because when we agreed to take their sewer, they
Yeah.
had to sign something that said we will not contest annexation. But the question is, we have to figure out if it actually makes sense for the city to annex Big Mountain, because now that they have their own tax, now that they have their own tax for the fire service, then we got to figure out, because they have their own resort tax now.
Right. Yes, but what you figure out is say, hey, no, now you're part of the city. So you don't get that. Now you're part of ours.
Well,
and the city.
It would be great if it were
could use
that
the
easy,
money.
but there's a lot of legal questions. That
But it would
kinda
happen.
get
But it would
intermingled in
happen.
there.
It would end up
Well,
happening. It would have to. If you annexed in, it would end up. Something would have to do.
And
But the
But
city
it's
stands to
hard
make money
to
on
annex
this.
money. I mean, you're talking about annexing money.
Yeah.
And money's got money to deal with not
Yes.
getting annexed.
Well, some of them have. They can't protest annexation. Like they signed the agreement.
Well, there's 30 houses
when we
that
took
have
their-
access to the sewer and the resort. That's it. That's it. No new builds have gotten in on that. But it's so what I don't like about it. It's for the billionaires that live up there. They get sewer
Well-
because you can't just have fucking 12 bathrooms in in an 18-bedroom house and have a well. You can't.
That's how they're able to build.
So all these
big-
gazillionaires get the services, but I don't. Because I'm not a gazillionaire. I get it.
I don't know. People that have a place at the Edelweiss, I don't think they're gazillionaires. I don't think they are.
Anymore. I don't
Well,
know.
they didn't used to be.
Well,
and that was
okay,
how they
Edelweiss,
got in.
that's different. I mean, that's different. That's part of the resort. I'm talking the homes, that the big homes that are on whatever Wolf Run and all that. They're
Gomer
all,
Pile House?
no, they don't. No, they're not
way
hooked
up,
in.
way up on the.
Way up.
Well, the answer to your question is we're looking at it from a financial perspective as whether it makes sense. Because if we annex Big Mountain and the village
See,
of Big
15,000
Mountain-
times 800 hookups.
Well, no,
it's a lot of money.
But think of also
Well,
the,
they got to do
the
the
liability
analysis.
we
I mean,
have.
2030 will have an answer.
You're right. We got how many committees?
It's a bunch
we
of
got?
Democrats running everything down at the city anyway, so of course
So
it
it ain't
takes a
gonna
long
get done.
time.
You're right.
No, but seriously, think about there is a lot of liability that goes into owning.
Oh, of
into
course.
having that as part of our town.
Yes.
Because that is the most fire-ready place.
Yes.
Probably
Yep.
in Flathead County to
And to make
burn
it safer,
and
it probably
hot.
would have to be annexed in by the city. And the money the city would make on those hookup fees
Well,
alone.
I don't know if it. I don't know. That's
What do you mean you don't know?
That's the analysis that has to be done. I don't have that financial analysis.
No, but you
in
know
front of me.
that hooking up to city sewer costs money. It's expensive
I do, but
for anybody to do that.
question is, does it make sense for the city financially, or is it going to become a bigger tax burden for the taxpayers?
When
in
you look at
Whitefish
it across,
if we annex them?
when you look at the question of whether residential services pays for itself valley-wide,
Yeah.
what you end up finding out is residential services don't pay for
no.
themselves. And the reason they don't pay for themselves is because education is expensive. And so when you go to areas where you don't have kids going to school, you don't have to provide that very expensive service, which
Right.
is education, is the most expensive service.
So I remember before this last election, the city was talking about not giving the second homeowners the full property tax relief. And I thought that was a very good idea. And it went silent.
We're working on it.
So now, but maybe for this.
I've been working on it for 6 years. Believe me.
So
It's in
frustration
now,
of
now
mine.
think about annexing in these people, whatever, Big Mountain Road, and these are all second homes. They're not going to get that rebate. I bet that is millions of dollars that goes back to us. Millions. In the amount of Elk Highlands alone, think about that.
Somebody has
fucking
to crunch the numbers. I mean, you wouldn't just buy a business because
No, I would crunch
you think
numbers.
it's a good idea.
I'll crunch them for you. I'll have them ready next week.
Okay.
Dana will do it.
Dana's working on it. She is one of the most talented accountants that
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I just think that you guys
Let's tell Paul
does that have to
Gilman
be does that have to be a voter initiative, or can you just pass it as a council and say you get the minimum 5%?
Well, they've been telling me we have to pass it as a voter initiative, the way that we administer that money back.
So is that going to be
I don't
on in
think so,
November? Is that going to be
because-
on the ballot then in November?
No, it's going to be the next.
Jesus
November.
Christ!
It's gonna be
Jesus
on the
Christ.
general election. I
Fucking
know.
Democrats.
It
Holy
has to go to
fucking Christ.
committee. We got to
God
get 12
damn it, Mike.
people to agree. There's going to be some loudmouth. We got to deal with that guy for the
Yep.
next 7 years.
Worster.
After that, we can send it to the next committee, and then we can vote on it.
Yeah, the wheels
You sound
of-
like Mary Flowers.
the wheels
It
of
took me
justice.
4 years to get
yeah.
2 mills for affordable housing, but we got it done. So it's going to get done. How long it's going to take, I don't know.
All right.
But I'm not.
Well,
I'm
you'll
a
be mayor
pretty-
by then.
I'm a
Yeah,
pretty.
you better
well,
be mayor by then, you son of a bitch.
I'm a pretty patient politician, I guess.
Mayor, county commissioner.
Maybe it's because I don't
yeah.
get paid, so it's like,
You get
We
paid
get
now.
done when it gets done.
You
now I
paid.
get paid.
You get paid now.
You get paid
True,
big,
I do
big
get paid
deep
now.
pockets.
When he's county commissioner, he's married, they're going to be both shaved and, you know,
I know,
looking
yeah.
good.
Totally different people.
They'll be trying to scrub these episodes from the
I'll
internet.
quit smoking pot.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got anything else? We've been here long enough, I think.
No, I'm good.
All right, guys, thanks
Thanks,
a lot.
Steve.
No, good show.
All right, maybe next week for the Epstein episode.